3, 2, 1. Now recording.
Hello, Slack.
Hello, Foxy. How are you doing?
I'm all right. Hello and welcome to the Minecraft. No, geez, I've ruined it. Can we start again? Because I'm panicking about this new thing. I've totally messed it up already.
Yeah.
Okay, let me try that again.
Just start all over.
Hello and welcome to the Block Update podcast, a Minecraft podcast with us, your hosts, Slack Lizard, affectionately known by his mother as Jonathan, and me, Foxy No-Tail, affectionately known by my mother as, why are you making a sandwich? I'm in the middle of cooking dinner. Yeah.
I've done that a few times too.
As usual, we like to start the show by thanking our 47 patrons. And we have 3 Minecraft 2.0 tier patrons now. Our top tier patrons, they are Lactating Monk, Stitch Fix, and our brand new one, the Praetor. Thank you so much, you guys, for going top tier and making our lives better. And for those of you that aren't top tier, thank you very much for being a patron. And if you're not a patron already and you do enjoy this show, then you can go to patreon.com/the block update and make it even better for us and help us out. The prices are per podcast. The minimum perks you'll get are access to our patron-only feed for bonus content, which you can also get by watching this live in our Discord. We've just recorded one, Slack, haven't we? Yeah. What are we talking about this week?
What kind of sandwich were you making? I'm just curious.
Every day when I used to come home from school, so I had to go. I lived a long way away, and I'd have to go on the bus, and it would probably, like, school for me didn't finish till 4:10 So I'd get home at like nearly 5 o'clock. My mum would like get home shortly afterwards and start preparing dinner, but I'd be hungry. So I'd go and make myself either a ham sandwich or a jam sandwich or something like that. But the thing is, as much as she complained about it, you shouldn't be eating that. I'm about to do dinner. I still ate all my dinner. But I had a sandwich too.
I mean, you were a growing boy, right?
Yeah, exactly. Jeez. Patron show this week. Talk about my bad knee, problems with Patron, and not this podcast one, but my one, Halford's, add-on stuff, sharing things through OBS instead of Discord. Isaac smiling, canning things. Slack's been into canning, getting some Winterton. We even talked a little bit about TV shows as well. So lots to catch up on there. If you aren't a patron already, then what are you doing? Get in there, get that cheapest tier, and go listen to those bonus shows because they're worth listening to.
Indeed, they are.
Now, do our viewers think that the main show is worth listening to, Slack? That's the question. The only way we're going to find that out, I guess, is by reading the feedback.
One of these. Hold on, let me open this document then.
I'll start with Purple Hoser, who says, "Hey, Foxy and Slack, quick update. After Foxy talked about Jedi Survivor a bit, I decided to buy it, and I'm happy with my decision. The only downside is I've played for around 6 hours, and I'm 13% done. Tired Purple. I don't know if that's a good thing. Like, are you thinking, oh, no, I've already played 6 hours, and I'm only that far in? Or are you thinking, I've played 6 hours, and I've already that far in, I haven't got much of this game to play? I don't know which way around it is.
Or maybe they're like, I've played for 6 hours and oh my God, I've only done 13%. This is going to take like 700 hours.
Yeah, well, if you try and completionist it and get 100%, it'll take you forever. But don't do that. Just do the story and the bits that you enjoy. If you do enjoy the side missions and all of the like collecting stuff and all that sort of stuff and you want 100% it, then go for it. But I wouldn't put that on anyone. I wonder, there's so many games do that now. It's like, oh, there's all this other stuff to do. Well, there isn't, though, is there? I've done the game. I've been round and I've finished the story. I've done a few side missions. You know, I don't need to go and
that's why
take a picture of every single animal.
Like you do with... No. That's why you do like with Mass Effect, okay? There's like 8 million planets you need to explore for side missions. And you do all of those, so when you finally get up to the boss fight, you can one-shot them and just walk away like a boss.
Well, that's different. But if you finish the game, you've done the story, and it's like, hey, you know, go and take a photo of every single creature. Go and find all of the different types of flowers. Go and do this. For no reason. It's like, why? I'm not getting anything from it. It's not helping me. I've explored the world. I've been around. I've had enough. You know?
That's fair.
I think 100% should be you've completed the game. you've done all of the things required to complete the game. And then they should have like a second thing, like for how much bonus stuff have you done?
There was a time, I played the original Fable like 15 times. Like 15 times at least. And then, of course, that was on the original Xbox before there was achievements. And then, of course, the Xbox 360 comes out and they update their system, and now you got achievements. And now it's almost like they've kind of killed replayability of some games. You've done all the achievements. There's nothing left for you to do. Who says that you make the achievements on what game I play?
Yeah. Yeah, there's some strange rules around. Well, not necessarily rules, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, who decided that the game's not complete till you take a picture of every animal in the game?
That's becoming so common now. It drives me nuts. I don't care. I know Pokemon's popular, right? And I know some people like to fill out the Pokedex, but I don't need that with every game. Like the Jedi Survivor one, it was planting seeds. I talked about this in great detail on the podcast. Do you remember? Like you have to go around and find all of the different types of plants, get the seeds from them, grow the seeds. And all you get from this whole farming update they did, was this person that you might find because it's part of a side mission on some planet that you might have skipped past. If you manage to find them and get them to your world, all they do is tell you what seed you planted, which you already know because you planted it. But you need to do it all for 100%.
Oh, I got nothing for that. Right. Anyways, next up, Mossy. Thank you both for being amazing and the highlight of my dark week.
Thank you, Mossy. I'm sorry you've had a dark week. And we're about to have a dark week too, Slack, because guess who's written in again with the world...
Stick fix?
Yeah, stick fix. Why do you have to write them so long, Stitch? Condense it, right? Next week, Stitch Fix. What you need to do, write what you're going to write in a document, not in the Discord. Then go to like ChatGPT and say, can you summarize this for me, but keeping all of the relevant information in there as much as possible, and see if you can get it in a paragraph rather than 38 pages, because we haven't got all day.
I know there's people already complaining we're making the podcast too long.
It was nearly 3 hours last week. Would have been 5 minutes if we hadn't had all the Stitch Fix's questions and feedback. Right, you ready, Slack?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it says, Foxy, how's your day? Personally, I don't find gold or zero tick farms cheaty. It's utilizing intentional game mechanics to its max. In your opinion, how are portal farms any different from skeleton farms, witch farms, or raid farms for that matter? They all single out intended spawning of mobs to a specific location in which we build mechanics to collect and mince. I'm sorry, Stitchfoot. So there's more to this, but we're going to answer this here. You couldn't be more wrong there. Zero tick farms and the portal ticking gold farms are not using intentional game mechanics. They are using glitches. They're using bugs in order to generate mass amounts of items in a way that was not intended by the developers. But piglins are supposed to spawn from portals, but they are not supposed to spawn like indefinitely if you turn that portal on and off again. That is a bug, it's a glitch, and it is taken advantage of by me and Slack and lots of other players to get many, many golds. And yeah, it's great fun making farms out of stuff like that, but it's also very cheaty. So that's why I find them cheaty, and that's why you're wrong. Same with zero ticking. The what's the new one we've just started doing? The zero ticking kelp.
Kelp.
Yeah,
Kelp, yeah,
totally cheaty. It shouldn't work. It's not an intentional game mechanic. It's totally broken.
And I'll tell you this one too, Stitch, and everyone else, because there was a lot of people who commented on this one. There's two different game mechanics at play here. And when we say that the ticking goat farms are a bug, whatever, you're thinking, oh no, on Java they build these big portal farms and pigment spawn. Yes, that's an actual mechanic. The lighting and unlighting of a portal. Do you see that in Java Edition?
No, but they build on the Nether roof, which is also cheaty.
Yeah, but one of these days, mark my word, whether it be today, 6 months from now, or 6 years from now, that's going to go away. The developers themselves have said that they haven't tackled it yet because most people don't know how to build a goat farm based in the Nether on Bedrock Edition. And it's going to go away in the name of parity is why it's going to go away, because they're not going to give that mechanic to Java. Java's already got the best way that they can do goat farms, period. They're not going to give them an extra mechanic where on ignition of portal, it has a chance to spawn between 0 and 4 pigment. It's not going to happen.
But you're not going to get...
We're going to lose that.
You're not going to get the awareness of the general public that play Bedrock Edition building Nether-based, not portal farms, like gold farms, when there's such an easy and alternative that gives you way more than you would get. Because you've built Nether-based gold farms, and they're pretty good. They give a lot of items, and they work really well.
100 blocks an hour.
But they're a lot harder to build. They take a lot more time to build, and they're not, using a glitch. People like using glitches, so...
Yeah, but use the glitch while you can, because eventually it will die.
Yeah. Anyway, Stitch Fix continues.
What else did Stitch have to say? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Sorry.
You say you don't like the term influencer because of the negative connotation. As content creators, you're influencing the way people play the game. You're teaching people how to do specific things and guiding them through game progression. The thing that hooked me to your channel was the easy farms. Most content creators make the biggest farms people follow because so-and-so did it. Most players will never need that many items. That being said, you're both jokingly influencing people to be okay with not being a perfect player, expert level 99. Yeah, and it continues, but we'll respond. Yeah, I never said we're not influencers, and I don't think we are influencers. I just said I don't like the term.
No.
A few years ago, the term influencer got some like really bad press with like particular content creators that were doing things that they shouldn't have been doing or influencing children in certain ways, and and it just wasn't right. And I didn't want to be in that. I didn't want to be tarred with the same brush. So that's kind of why I don't like, I steer away from the influencer word, even though, yes, that does describe what we do to a certain extent. I don't like that label. I would never call myself an influencer because I just really dislike that label. So
I'm not going to wear that hat yet.
Yeah, exactly. And then Stitch Fix goes on, the word of mouth is more effective than paid advertising. Positive or negative opinions aside, what's new and what's wrong are people want to know. Or what people want to know. We all know what's new because it's in their faces before we even get it. What's wrong is exciting because it's something we may already not know. If I had to rate you both, I'd say 4.5 out of 5 stars because when I come here, I know what to expect. The truth, valid arguments, working farms, and a laugh. You both took my comment negatively, literally, not sure, regardless, positive, objectively, Stitch Fish. Okay. I don't know how to respond to that bit. Thank you. Thank you for the feedback.
Yep. Next up, LCS128 says, hello. No, I'm not. No. Hello, Slack and Foxy. Yeah. Is it just me, or is the podcast getting way more funny lately? Keep up the great work.
I don't get it.
Yeah. No, anyways.
But Renzo, gold farms. While I wouldn't want the portal ticking style of gold farm to go away, I wouldn't mind seeing them get nerfed a bit. If players understood that nether-based gold farms were X% better than overworld versions, then it would encourage us to experiment more with building them. Evolving your game style should be encouraged. Opinions. I love hearing your opinions on the game, good, bad, or indifferent. I have my perspective, but I know it's not the only one, so I watch and listen to your podcast to get other perspective. My opinions are not always going to be in alignment with yours, and that's totally okay, but I'm going to learn from other players' points of view and gain new insights about the game. This is how it should be, not just for Minecraft, but for all things. Honest and open dialogue without hostility. This is how we learn and evolve. Mojang guests. Leaning into my previous comment, I think Mojang would do themselves a service by having employees as guests on your show. If they are truly as open to hearing from the players as they make themselves out to be, then they would be receptive to the thoughts that come from the show. I get the feeling that if a dev was in the show, you're not just going to rip them a new one. You'll have an honest and open dialogue with them about some important topics that affect the game. That would be a wonderful thing. Okay, just talking about the guests thing. Yeah, of course. If we had a developer on the show, we would be very polite and make sure we didn't ask questions that were going to make them uncomfortable and nervous. But they would also, I'm sure, send us a list beforehand of things they are able to talk about and things they're not. So there'd be no point in asking questions like, "What's in the next update? Why didn't you fix this bug? Why haven't you done that? Why did you do this with the game?" Because as a single developer, they either probably don't know the answers to those questions or aren't allowed to talk about it. So I imagine with anything like that, when you've got a professional guest, there'll be the big old list of what you can and can't say, and you'll have to, tender your questions and conversation around that. So I don't think it would be quite as fulfilling as you would hope it would be, considering, how we are on this podcast. If we were just, not really giving our opinions
if it came to the point. If it came to the point of actually having somebody on here, I'm sure we would have a private chat long before we ever got into a recording session about what's okay to talk about and what's not okay to talk about. We're respectful. We may joke and play and everything like that, but that's someone's livelihood and someone's job.
Yeah, exactly. And I just thinking from the people that listen to this point of view, that expect us to give our negative opinions and be very strongly passionate about certain things that we dislike. I don't think you would get what you would want from us talking to a developer, because we wouldn't go down that route. We wouldn't be like aggressively saying, "I don't like this. Why have you done that? Why does this exist?" We would be probably a little bit starstruck in a lot of ways as well, thinking, we've got a developer on the podcast here. Let's, big them up, big up the game and talk about all the wonderful things they've done. And you'd be listening to this going, that doesn't sound like the Foxy and Slag we know. Why are they being so nice? They sound so false. So,
Yeah.
But I'm not averse to it. I would love to have a developer on the show. I just think you should manage your expectations on that one.
Exactly. 100%. Next up, we got Purple Hoser. And they say, "Hey, Foxy and Slack, I have a small suggestion this week. Please continue to number the podcast." Did you not number it anymore?
I haven't numbered the podcast for the actual audio version for a long time. The YouTube version, I always put the numbers on. I don't know why I do it on there, but not on the other one. Because it's not a series, they don't follow on from each other. What happened in the last one doesn't affect the next one. It's nice to know the number, to know how many we've done, but that's kind of just for mine and Slag's perspective, really. And we always announce the number of the show at the beginning of the show. I think for the sake of tidiness, and also, look, the reason I chose to do it was I was looking at other... basically, my titles were too long for the podcast app that I was using. It was doing my editing. So I looked at what other people were doing, and most of the other people weren't bothering with numbers. And I just thought, well, what's the point? Yeah, what does the number have? What does it help? So, Jen says in the chat there, does follow on from each other except for the feedback section and the order of the news. Yes, but you will see in your app that which order they're in. It's not going to be like out of order because we haven't put numbers there. They're always going to be in the right order if you wanted to listen to them one by one. So having the number in front... I haven't numbered my Truly Bedrock videos apart from in the title on YouTube for years. There's not been like episode numbers on the videos or anything, because it just doesn't matter. They're in the right order. So if you're listening to them in the right order, what difference does it make?
Yeah, I think it was last season. Watchful wanted to start removing the episode numbers from it, and I was like, but now I don't use them, and it doesn't make no difference.
It doesn't make any difference at all. If someone's going to watch your video, they're going to watch your video. Not So Blue Sheep says, "Lol, listen on random," which I understand is a joke. But even if they were numbered, listening on random isn't going to help you at all. Having the titles numbered, it's going to not make any difference. So there you go. Rotated Alpha says, "On the subject of cost of games being expensive, here's my unasked for take. I prefer to take the economics out of it entirely and think of it as a value for money point of view. If you go out on the town, clubbing or whatever the cool kids do these days, or for a meal with friends or to the movies and a few drinks afterwards, it's very easy to blow through £100 over the course of 3 or 4 hours. An evening out, 4 hours of entertainment for £100. Jedi Survivor, 20 to 30 hours for £60. Better yet, Tears of the Kingdom, 100 hours plus for £60. Games are incredible value for money." Yeah, absolutely. if you got a car, fill up a tank of gas in the UK, or petrol as we call it, £60. Buy a game, £60. If you happen, you go shopping, you get a week's worth of shopping, it's going to be in the hundreds. Games are cheap compared to that. I understand when you're young and you haven't got a job and, an income and things like that, that things seem expensive because you're saving up your pocket money and you're doing a paper round or doing odd jobs to get money, and that seems expensive. And it is a young person's game, a lot, wanting to play games. But realistically, compared to the cost of everything else, it's cheap. In fact, it probably cost you more in electricity to play the bleeding game for that many hours in the UK at the moment than it would for the cost of the game. Just turning your console and your TV on is probably going to cost you that much.
I never think of a way to make this sound right without making it sound wrong, and I just can't think of a way to say it. I agree. For value, for the investment you put into it, yeah, I can think, man, I've had so many memories made with Minecraft. But then again, I've had so many memories made from spending money too. I mean, flying across the ocean, going to a different country, meeting a friend that I never thought I would meet because, a game. It
would cost you a lot more than £60 to fly over to the UK. Yeah.
But yeah, games are a good value for their money. They are.
But I guess it's a little bit like, it's a little bit like putting your hand in one of those like raffle bins and pulling out a prize with a game, because you don't know if you're going to like it. You don't know how long it's going to last. You don't know how much enjoyment you're going to get out of it. And if you get halfway through and you decide you don't like it, it's not like you can just take it back because it didn't fit like you could do if you bought some nice clothes. But then you could argue,
Elden Ring.
You go out for a meal, right? And you order something off the menu you've not had before. You might not like it. And just because you didn't like it doesn't mean you can take it back and not pay for it. You're still going to pay for it. So there is that argument to have. Maybe they should be a little bit cheaper because there's that unknown. But realistically, if you're spending that amount of money, go and watch the trailers. Go and look at some reviews without spoilers. Go and find out if it's up your street before you spend that money. Give yourself the benefit, at least a fighting chance.
Then again, you can watch all the trailers and look at all the gameplay you see on it. And you get into the game and realize you don't like it at all.
Yeah.
AKA Elden Ring. Yep.
So that sucks. Yeah, but then you could buy like that last car that I had, that Honda. Everything on paper was fantastic. I hated it. That was a lot more than $60 or £60. Yeah. I can just take that back. Sorry, I don't like it. This car tried to kill me on the motorway. Can I have my money back? No. Okay. What's Ginger Muffin have to say?
They have to say, with 1.21 approaching and your conversations about what you want, I considered why the end update would be the worst update for Minecraft. Most players play peaceful or do not reach the end, so would not experience an update for a year, and it would take the sandbox out of Minecraft, making you have to beat the dragon to experience new features. Sorry for the negative book. Love listening. Thanks for running such a great show. No, sorry, you couldn't be more wrong in that regard. Okay, you wanted to say most people play on peaceful. Peaceful is without a doubt the way that you're excluding areas of the game. You play on peaceful, you cannot. I'm trying to make sure I'm saying this right. No, you cannot get to the end at all.
Not easily. It's very difficult to get blaze rods to get.
How are you going to get blaze rods without mobs in the Nether?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'd be interested to see the statistics of how many players play on peaceful. But the thing is, I would say that the sort of players that would play on peaceful are the sort of players like Oliver that join the game, throw a few blocks around for a minute, build his favourite characters out of wall blocks, make a little base, copy something they've seen on YouTube and then start a new world. They're not interested in the survival aspect of the game. They're not interested in going to the end and stuff like that. So you're right. Yeah. An end update for Oliver is not going to be a great deal for him. But then you could argue the Nether update was the same. But for all of the players that do want that, the masses of players that do play survival, that do like going through the game, that are builders, redstoners, the players that are, actually playing the game rather than just dipping the toes in and fiddling with it. I think it's a really important update. So I don't think it would be the worst update, but you're absolutely right. An end update would miss out a few people.
Are not. Here's an interesting contradiction to that, if I remember this correctly, too. Aren't shulkers there and peaceful, but they don't attack?
No idea. Probably.
I'm pretty sure they're a persistent mob that is there.
Yeah, well, they'll
not attack
spawn in. I'm sure they will, yeah.
Okay, then you can't even get there. So
Yeah,
why is that mechanic even there for peaceful?
I'm sure there's a way. I'm sure there's a way that players can get to the end in peaceful. I'm sure the developers have done something about that. I'm convinced of it. Can't you find like blaze powder in chests somewhere or something?
Not that I've seen.
I can't remember. I'm sure
you can't get it from villagers and villagers.
We'll get to that in the news.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Guyver says, Foxy and Slack, I always enjoy hearing your takes on both Minecraft and non-Minecraft topics. Please feel free to mark me down as someone you can respond to negatively for entertainment. No, Guyver, I won't. Shut up. I will take no offence to someone else's negative opinion. I have some feedback on the topic of business taxes that you talked about in the previous podcast. Oh, geez.
I'm going to take a nap.
I'll start off by saying...
that's a book.
I'm just a consumer and I've never owned or done finances for a company, so take my viewpoint for what it's worth. In the US, where I live, the government uses large part of the tax code to steer the behaviour of businesses through tax credits, write-offs, etc. It's easy for large businesses over here to use those to whittle down the income tax owed to zero. Sounds a lot like crafting logs into slabs to get more items smelted, actually. Have a good one, Guyver. Okay, I'm not going to go massively into depth here, because I think I bored everyone to death last time of talking about this. But, it's not just the US. As all, well, not all, but certainly in the UK, governments absolutely do have systems in place to make businesses or to give businesses opportunities to save on tax. And the reason for that is it's basically it's carrot dangling in order to help businesses grow, reach the next threshold. Like small businesses in the UK, they get something called business rate relief or small business rate relief, which means that they don't have to pay the council tax for the properties that they're renting, which means that they have more money in the bank, which means they can put towards, stock or staff or something like that. It's just to help get your next leg up. And those things exist all the way up the business food chain in order to incentivize businesses. If the government has no incentive for businesses, if they decided, okay, no one's allowed to earn over this amount of money, no one's allowed to do this, you're not going to get any incentives, you wouldn't get as many businesses. And if you don't get as many businesses, you don't have as many employees, which means you've got a massive unemployment problem. So it's a really good idea to have things in place for businesses to be able to have incentives to make more money so that they can employ more money. And it doesn't always happen. A lot of businesses will just put that in the back pocket. But again, there's nothing for free. I kind of went around it last time. We talked about write-offs, but I didn't actually explain what a write-off is. A tax write-off is at the end of the year when you've gone through your accounts and you've gone, we made too much profit this year, so we're going to have a big old pile of tax to pay. And we don't like giving money to the government. So we'd rather spend that on the business. We'd rather spend that on something else. So we're going to buy a load of stock, or we're going to buy a new fleet of company cars, or we're going to do this, or we're going to do that. So they spend all that money, which means their profit is less, right? So that they're not as profitable, which brings the amount of tax they pay down. But they've still spent that money, right? So it's not free. They haven't gone, oh, I don't have to pay as much tax, so I've earned more money. No, they've bought stuff. They spent that money in order to get a tax write-off. So they've massively reduced the amount of tax they've got to pay, which is your write-off, but they've had to spend money to do that. So they're basically going, I don't want to give the government that much money. I'd rather have it for myself, so I'm going to buy something with it. And sometimes companies can be a bit sneaky and they'll go, oh, well, wouldn't it be nice if we all had extra bonuses? There you go, staff. And the staff go, well, you've just put me into the next tax bracket, so I've got to pay more income tax now, right? Or they'll go, oh, let's buy some TVs for our demonstration purposes, but you can all take them home, just don't tell anyone. There's ways of that businesses use to dodge it a little bit, which is it's part of the course. It's just part of being a business, but it doesn't mean it's still not free. It's not free money. Okay? Jeez.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Are you sure? You look a little flushed.
Don't get me talking about taxes. Like, if I hear one
Sounds
more
like
person going, yeah, but it's just a tax write-off, I'm gonna explode, I think.
Okay, all right. Just breathe, and I'm going to read the next one. Is this from what?
Peony.
Peony?
Yeah, it's a flower. One of my build team and patrons.
Okay. And they said, I have many opinions and things to say, but let this suffice. I absolutely love the honesty you guys bring to the podcast. It is very connectable, and I never feel like you guys are these untouchables. You just come across as real honest and humble. In my book, that is wonderful. I'm in awe of your Minecraft skills, and I can only endeavor to get there one day. No, you're good. You're good. We're just gamers, right?
I think she must be talking about you there, about, your Minecraft skills. I don't think anybody on this planet would endeavor to be as good as me. Yeah, you don't want to downgrade your skills. Just for some reference, Peony is an incredible builder. She on our last VIP server. So I do a tour at the end of every when we reset the servers. I had to do just me and her. It took her an hour. Just me and her going around her base on the server. It takes me an hour and a half to do everyone else's. It's ridiculous. It's massive. There's full lore behind it, stories. It's completely beautiful. It's amazing. So I am in awe of Peony's skills in Minecraft. Far, far not the other way around. Jeez.
Nice.
Whitebush says, hey guys, for the record, I was not upset with and actually enjoy a good friendly jab myself. Keep being yourselves. It's what draws us honest and sometimes warped listeners in. As for Bedrock being close to Java modded, I've been wishing and waiting for that to happen for years now. As far as I understand, data/behavior packs and add-ons for Bedrock still require you change existing block or item to suit your goal, not just added directly to the game. Is that correct? If so, I believe it has a big hurdle to be true Bedrock modding. No, it's not correct. It is kind of. You can adapt. You can't change any vanilla items or vanilla blocks. You can change vanilla entities. You can add all of the custom blocks you want, all of the custom items you want, all of the custom entities you want, and you can now write code in JavaScript that modifies the game like a mod does, but it is still within limitations. So you've got no control over the user interface or the control system for what buttons players are pressing or how they're interacting with things. But there's an awful lot you can do, which brings it way more in line with what modding ever was. So yes, it's not perfect, but considering this is something Mojang are actually building into the game rather than it's just being some relying on somebody to hack into the game and provide you with a mod loader, which yet again this week, although I haven't put it in the news, another one of the old mod loaders, which is still really popular, has been found to be basically filling people's PCs with malware and allowing people to access your stuff and control your PC. So having that built in by the developers as a stable thing that people can access and modify the game to an incredible amount, I think it's way better. Okay, it's not going to give you the same freedom as you get with being able to mod whatever you want because you are literally hacking the game and reprogramming it. But it's better than nothing. So, yeah, just need more people to understand how it works and use it. And then you get more mods. Okay. Right, that's it for the feedback. If you would like to leave us feedback, you can do by emailing us at news@theblogupdate.com, filling in the feedback form, or joining the Discord. The links for all of those things are in the description below. It is now time for the news, and I didn't think we were going to have any news, but at the last minute, we got a Minecraft Java Edition snapshot that changed the world.
Yep.
I'm going to start with the big news from this update, and that is that barrier blocks are now waterloggable. Whoa.
Oh, that's so good. Man, that's something we've been needing for so long.
That's just quite annoying, actually. I can't imagine ever needing barrier blocks to be waterloggable. If you're trying to barrier off an area, you don't want water spilling out the other side, do you?
What if you got a pond and you don't want people going through it?
Well, okay, yeah, I suppose barrier blocks underwater does make sense. Yeah, but
Yeah. Mm-hmm. See? Uh-huh.
okay,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
okay.
World borders. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The
It's logical
other
now, isn't it?
really big news is that Diamond Ore is now going to be more frequent in the deep slate layers. Would you believe? Oh, I haven't shared the doc. Hang on, guys. There you go. Let me see if I can find
skip
that one.
all. Yeah, you got to skip all the way down to the good stuff. Yeah.
There we go.
All that rubbish at the top. Yeah.
Yeah, that rubbish at the top that we're not going to talk about. Our goal is to make it more rewarding to mine diamonds in the deep slate layers. Oh, good. I really hope they bring that to Bedrock Edition because at the moment I hate it. That would be
it's horrible.
There's a question we got later on in the question section about having a developer on the show and what we'd ask, and that'd be what I'd be asking is, "Where's my diamonds? Where have you taken them? Where's my Insta-mine deep slate?" Maybe, Slag, maybe what they could do with this update, this next Java Edition thing that they're going to be bringing to Bedrock as well, apparently, is update villagers to give us new enchantments in order to give us something we can insta-mine deep slate with. That'd be good, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, a new enchantment? Yeah.
I can't see them. I can't see them fiddling with villagers. Can you?
No,
villagers
I mean,
perfect.
villagers have been so overpowered. We've been talking about this for a long time now.
Yeah.
That they're just so broken. I mean, we've had in the last 3 or 4 podcasts, we've argued about different ways to change the enchanting station to make it viable because villagers are so overpowered and broken.
Yeah. Yeah, but the villagers are a staple of the game. They're not going to change them. Mojang aren't just going to release a snapshot and go, "Hey, we've totally overhauled villagers and changed everything." They're never going to do that, are they? Even though we've put it in the wish list, it's been in the good ideas. Not in a million years are they going to change how villager enchanting works or librarians and things. No way.
Wait a minute. What's that at the top up there?
I'll scroll up a bit.
Yeah.
It says, "Oh man, they've totally overhauled villagers." You kidding me? What? I wasn't expecting that.
Well, to be fair, they've only done really one villager and a trader.
Yeah, the Wandering Trader and the Librarians have been completely and utterly changed. And I am going to start with the Wandering Trader because this made me laugh. And I think, wow, guys, wow. Yet again, you've come up with something which you think is going to be great and then totally thrown it down the toilet. So they basically said, some players felt that the Wandering Trader had unfair prices and didn't sell many useful items. So we've lowered the prices and added more trades to increase the amount that's available. Do you know what they've added, Slack?
What's that? Tell me, please.
Logs, 1 iron pickaxe that's enchanted, and 1 potion of invisibility. The iron pickaxe is going to be anywhere between 6 and 20 emeralds. The potion of invisibility, 1 of them, the Wandering Trader has 1, is 5 emeralds. And you can buy logs, 8 logs for 1 emerald, but there's a maximum of 4 trades. So you're going to get a maximum of 32 logs from the Wandering Trader.
Well, I mean, that doesn't even sound useful because, the only time a trader's useful is early game.
No, it isn't.
He's only useful early.
You don't have any emeralds early game. How are you going to buy all of those logs?
That's my point. That's my point. You don't have no emeralds.
It's totally stupid. Totally stupid.
Oh, I see. They tried to make it viable by giving you, he will buy things off of you for emeralds now.
Yeah, so you can now sell him emeralds. And this is a little bit better. So a water bottle, they'll buy 1 for 1 emerald. So you're going to smelt your glass. You're going to make a water bottle out of your 1 piece of sand, and you can sell him that with a bit of water in it. That's free. 1 emerald, not bad. But they'll only buy 1. Okay, right. Well, I'll smelt 3 pieces of iron, put some water in that, and sell him to him for 2 emeralds. But he'll only buy 1. All right, then. I found a cow.
So I got 3 emeralds.
Because this will be random as well. He's not going to have all of these trades, is he? He's only going to have a couple of them.
Oh, that's even better. Not all of them, just 1 or... No.
Well, he might have all of them. I doubt it very much. So, there's a cow here. I'll use 3 pieces of iron, fill it with milk, and I'll sell him that 1 of them for 2 emeralds. But don't worry, guys. I found a fermented spider eye. I've gone through my brewing station because I'm early game, and I've got brewing stations and blaze powder and nether wart because I'm early game and I need the wandering trader. I've made a fermented spider eye with those mushrooms and that sugar I got from the witch hut, and I'm going to sell one of them for 3 emeralds. But that's all, right? How many things can we sell before we can afford a pickaxe, an iron pickaxe?
Yeah, not enough.
Don't worry, guys.
Yeah, no.
It will buy 4 baked potatoes. So get your piece of coal and your furnace and your potatoes that you farmed because you're early game, and sell him 4 baked potatoes only once for 1 emerald. But don't worry, guys. You can get all of your straw and turn it into hay bales and sell him 1 for 1 emerald once.
That's rubbish. That's absolutely rubbish. Are they making fun of us?
It feels like it, doesn't it? Some players felt that the Wandering Trader... No, all players felt that the Wandering Trader is totally useless, which is why half of us turn him off or just kill him on sight. So they've lowered his prices and given him more stuff. Why?
So
what stuff is... There's nothing useful there.
No, they could have included...
Let me sell him diamonds for emeralds.
Updates.
Let me sell him a nether star for a bunch of emeralds. Let me sell him something of value and get something decent back so I can actually afford some logs.
I feel like that's a smack in the face.
It is. So I really strongly dislike that. And I tell you what, the next thing with the librarians, I think a lot of people are very much going to dislike it, but I actually quite like it. But there are some...
I like it, but I think the general public's going to hate it.
Yeah, and there are some big unknowns with this. They go into a lot of detail, but there's some big unknowns. So basically, the new rules with librarians are that librarians will not have just a random assortment of books. The books that they have will be dependent on the biome they're in, and only a master librarian will be able to sell a special book which is biome specific. Now, this is where the confusion starts for me, because it says that only the masters, if I can find where I wrote it, where I saw it, it says only the masters have a special book that's biome specific. But then there's a table down here that tell you that all of the different books are biome specific as well. So librarians in each biome have a special book which is guaranteed trade from every master librarian and a range of normal books. So that's saying that every master librarian that comes from a desert will give you an efficiency 3 book, right?
Okay.
Yeah?
Yep. So does that mean you can't get efficiency from any other librarian?
Yes.
In a different biome?
I believe so. But then it says here, librarians from different biomes sell different enchantments, and each village biome has 1 enchantment that is only sold by librarians. So that makes it sound like all of the other enchantments are available, but you'll get 1 specific one from each biome.
Wait a minute. Read that again. Hold on.
With the new rules, librarians from different biomes sell different enchantments, and each village biome has 1 enchantment that is only sold by master librarians. So that, to me, take that on its own, says, well, the librarians will still just have totally random, but you're guaranteed that if you've got a desert villager that's a master, he will have a efficiency 3 book, right? But everything else is totally random. But then there's a table here that says normal books, and that's biome specific, but there's no mention of any of the crossbow enchantments, the trident enchantments. There's a whole bunch of enchantments missing from there. There's no fortune 3. There's no sharpness 4 or sharpness 5. There's no protection 4. You know, there's a lot missing from that, which, if this is it, if that's what librarians are limited to, and that's the only enchantments they'll have, I mean, on one hand, that's going to make rolling villagers a whole bunch easier because there's not as many to go through. But that means to get fire protection 4, you're going to need to buy 4 fire protection 1 books and combine them all, putting the price up. So I don't think this makes any sense.
I don't know, because it's weird, because their specialty books are locked in at a specific one. So it says efficiency 3, you know? So if I look at fire protection there under desert, it doesn't say fire protection 1, 2, 3, or 4.
So does that mean it can be any level?
1, 2, 3. Well, that makes no sense. If the master one is capped out at 3, yet I can roll a villager with a fire protection 4. I feel like they're really nerfing villagers in a way that their normal books can't be higher than their master book. I don't know. This feels weird.
Yeah.
I like it.
Because there is... It basically says it felt a novice librarian could sell the best enchantment in the game, and this felt too random, and it made trading feel overpowered when compared to using the enchantment table. So, you know, that's what they're saying. But does that mean that's it? That's all we're limited? The wording's so weird on this. On one hand, it's saying, like, see, this bit here says that only one enchantment is specific to a different biome. But then this says that it's different. So is this actually saying, well, actually, any old villager within the desert is going to have these, but all of the other ones could be available as well? I just don't get it. Or are they the only ones? In which case, if you've got a village in a desert and you've got a librarian, well, there's no point in having more than one librarian, is there? Or maybe 3 librarians to get the 3 different enchantments. I don't know.
Yeah, because if that's how it goes, if that's limiting the book types to the biome, then, okay, fire protection, thorns, and infinity. Well, desert, there's really not much. I mean, it's nice to know, hey, if I need infinity, I can go get a desert villager and desert, guy, and I can get infinity. Yeah, I do like that. I don't necessarily like the fact that you don't know what the levels are going to be. That's the weird thing. And I got another question for you, okay?
Yeah.
So say I get the desert villager, okay?
Yeah.
Say I lock him in on his trades, okay? Say he's got thorns and I want that, okay? So I lock him in so he can't trade.
Yeah.
If I go move him to another biome, is he going to keep that?
Yes, because he's a desert villager, and it talks about that below here. So it says, each biome has one special enchantment that's only available from the Master Librarians with full XP. This means players must visit all 7 biomes to get a full set of villager enchantments, and there are 2 secret village biomes where villages do not generate, so you must build these villages to get those traits. So it's doesn't matter where that villager ends up, as long as it was born in the village that biome is, it's going to, because you can take a desert villager and take it to the jungle and it's still a desert villager, right? Doesn't suddenly become a jungle villager.
Okay. They've really put a hampering on some people then, because 2 biomes that do not have villagers, the swamp and the jungle, and the swamp being the only place you can get a mending book aside from fishing and finding it in the chest.
Right?
Yep.
And depth strider and respiration, which are so you're going to have to, if you want to be able to walk in water or breathe underwater a bit more, you're going to have to build a village in the swamp to get those villagers. You want use an enchantment table.
What about feather falling? That's an important one.
Yeah. Feather. That's a jungle one. So yeah, there is power.
No,
so there is a bow
villages.
one here and punch there. So there's a punch one as well. Yeah, it's so weird. So it's.
I mean, for us, the savannah does nothing. Knockback, binding curse, sweeping edge.
Yeah,
rubbish.
Sharpness 3 though. I like sharpness.
Yeah, 3. Good job there. You're going to need 2 of them books to make a sharpness 4. Then you're going to need another 2 to make another sharpness 4. Then you're going to have to combine those up to make a sharpness 5. So you're raising the cost of putting. I personally like these changes. I would like to know more. I do. I like this because this really nerfs down villagers, which I absolutely love. It puts emphasis back on the enchantment table, which a lot of people here, and including you, have been just horrid on here lately. This actually gives it more value. Sucks. Yeah, it does, but you might get a chance to get efficiency 4 off an enchantment table if the desert villager can only give you a max of efficiency 3.
Yeah. I think
you're going to want to go table.
So I like the idea. I do like the idea that different biome villagers have different books. I like that. And I like the idea that depending on the level of the villager, the book level would increase. But it doesn't seem like they've really... I mean, just to bear in mind, peeps, this is experimental. It is coming to Bedrock. There is a toggle for this. It's not in the game, and they are looking for feedback on this. The way it is at the moment is just yet another one of these, how can we make life harder for people without giving people an actual reasonable alternative? We've got this system in place which people are using, and it works really well, but we've decided to change it and make it a lot worse with no reasonable alternative. So this, to me, as much as I like the direction they're going in, and I think it's a good thing having it, I think, that'd be great. I'd love to go out and build it gives me a reason to go to the actual jungle and build something there to get something back for it. That's the sort of exploration I think is great. But
if the max you can get is Unbreaking too, what's the point?
Exactly.
Better off. Just be better off sitting at a zombie spawner with an enchanting station and grindstoning. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just more time. It's just more grindy work that they're throwing into the game. And this direction that they're going in, we've been saying about it for a while. It's just, I don't know why. Again, another question to ask a developer if they come on the show. Why are you trying to make it so difficult? Why are you so insistent on nerfing everything and trying to make the game harder? What benefit do you have as a developer to make us grind in the game more rather than enjoying it at our own pace and doing what we want to do?
It feels like they're really trying to slow down people's progression.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing this at first with the librarians. Okay, so in my brain, my alternative be, well, I don't really care. I'll just get my tools off of the toolsmith and go grindstone them, and
yeah, it makes the toolsmith and the weaponsmith village are actually more viable now because you might actually get a decent tool. But are they going to change that? What if they start
putting them biome specific?
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's the way they've gone about this is in the right direction, but it's at the same time very, very confusing and totally stupid.
You know what I think this is going to make a lot of people do?
They keep saying, they're trying to make the game more intuitive so people don't need a wiki to understand how to do the game. This is just basically done potions. You're going to need a wiki. How do I know which village I need to get that enchantment? You could sit at a plains biome with a villager for ages, rolling it and going, well, I don't know if I'm going to get this trade or if I'm just being unlucky. And then you go to another villager and you set up a village there and you roll a trade and you roll it. Well, does it happen at this one, or are I just being unlucky?
Yeah, this is going to make it harder on new players coming in big time. This just doesn't even slow it down. This slams the brake on them.
Yeah. So are they going to fix the enchantment table? Because the problem with the enchantment table, it used to be great, but then they added all these new enchantments and cursor bindings and stuff like that, and it's so random now what you get. Are they going to update that? So if you're actually paying for more levels, you get more enchantments rather than just...
I'll tell you, the biggest problem I have with the enchantment table is they did a parity update. What was it, 2 or 3 years ago with the enchantment table? And the fact that I can spend 30 levels on something and get efficiency 3?
Yeah, exactly.
Come on now. If you're wanting to do this kind of change with books and trading, I'm fine with it. But I can't say the word, don't halfway do it.
Yeah.
This feels like a lick and a promise, and it's horrible.
But it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. And I put that down to bad wording, but to me, this reads two different things. It says there's only one book that's going to be specific and only the master librarian will have that. But then then you've got this chart that says, well, all the books are biome specific.
What happens next? Okay, let's just take this a step further. What happens next? What if they take it to the farmers? Okay, so the code farmers can only accept, beetroot. And the plains biome can only take, potatoes. And the swamp is the only one where you can trade in melons. And the jungle is the only place you can trade in pumpkins.
Yeah. Yeah, people in the chat are asking for the feedback link. There you go. There's the villager trading feedback. If you click on that, it will go to Let's Talk About Trading.
Yeah, because this, I looked just a moment ago too. This is not showing up under betas and previews or nothing.
No,
Yeah.
we haven't had a new Bedrock preview. This is just
No, it's not even under snapshots. It's not even there on the main site.
Oh yeah, they never update that for Java. They go in there 3 or 4 weeks later.
Good job. Yeah. That's really good. That's how you want to let people know there's something new out, but not even updating the place where they can get the news about it.
No.
Good job, guys.
Exactly. So yeah, I don't know how to feel about that really. Like I say, on one hand, I'm really happy that they're trying to make it better and more. I mean, they're saying they're trying to make it like more obvious, but at the same time, they're going here, but you're going to need a wiki. And it's going to be harder.
The thing I find the most annoying is, didn't somewhere say, it said something about lore. They can find out hidden lore and stuff how? How are you going to find this out?
Oh, it does actually say here, some enchantments have been removed from village trading and must be found in other ways then. So if that is the full list of enchantments you can get from villagers, then yes, it's going to be much easier to roll them because there's going to be a lot less to get. But
I'll tell you what's going to come back with a vengeance, AFK fish farms.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. Well, how else?
Yeah.
I'm not going to build a swamp biome, a swamp village, just to get mended. And
no, that's going to be the only way you're going to get it, aside from AFK fishing. Yep. I'd rather AFK fish.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Okay, there's a whole bunch of technical changes in this update as well, in terms of how they're doing the chatting. Chunk optimization as well, in order to send chunks back and forwards to servers, has been optimized. There's a whole bunch of that. Loads and loads and loads of stuff. Loads of stuff for data packs and telemetry and all sorts of that. As usual, if you want to check out all of this, the link for this will be in the show notes and the description. So, yeah, and there's a whole bunch of bug fixes as well. But, geez, what a change. And they're not gentle with that one, are they?
No.
But the Wandering Trader Slack.
Man, I really hope they do better than that, because the Wandering Trader has such more potential. And that just feels like they're taking a joke at people. Really does. And who? That's probably the wrong thing to say, but it just feels like the worst set of ideas ever is to let them trade one water bottle for one emerald. One. And then it locks out.
Yeah. No more
I'm
trades.
sorry, that's a rubbish idea. It's not, we're targeting communities doing trading or whatever. Make up your mind. Is the target audience of the game younger players or players who play it long term? Because
or is
I don't
it early
care
game
which player
players,
you
or
are.
is it
This
late
is
game
rubbish.
Players?
Yeah, this is a rubbish change with the Wandering Trader. I'm not actually that upset about the villager changes. I'm really not. Even if that's how it rolled out right now, I can be like, yeah, okay. But the Wandering Trader one just feels like they just smacked us right in the face. It's just kind of like when you were talking about needing the inventory update, and then they're like, oh, you like inventory? Ruins. Let's give you these trail ruins, and you want to talk about inventory? This feels like a pure smack in the face with the Wandering Trader. I can accept the librarian changes because librarians have been overpowered forever. We all know that. But now everybody and their brother, one of the first things they're going to do in the world is find a swamp, build a villager.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Everybody wants to build.
I want the swamp. I'm going to be in the swamp this season. That's mine. I'm having the swamp.
Yep. And then think of this, on these biomes here. Okay. So we've actually had worlds where no jungle showed up 5,000-6,000 blocks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're trying to say you can't
fingers crossed on your seed.
Yeah. You're going to have to really make sure that you're. What happens to existing villagers?
Yet again, instead of making the game intuitive and just going, just pick a random seed and you can do whatever you want, you're forcing players to go to something like Chunk Base, spend hours and hours trawling through seeds to try and find one that's got all of the biomes in it so that you can have all of the villager trades. It's so stupid. It's so backwards. Jeez. Okay.
Not So Blue Sheep says, no, the existing villagers will have to be locked in. They can break them. They have before. Don't even say that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to transfer all my villagers from my old world to my new one. Jeez. Oh, man. Whew.
I don't even know what to say, man.
But the Wandering Trader with logs, right? They do saplings. A sapling is worth way more than the log, right? Why add logs? What's the point of all the items in the game? Why logs? And why a maximum of 32? What's that useful for? You know, give them something that you can't get hold of. Give us a nether thing, or just
give us blaze rods.
Yeah, or slime.
Give the Wandering Trader the ability to trade stuff that people can't get in peaceful.
Well, there's an idea, isn't there? Jeez.
Yep. There you go. There's a good idea. And these trades that you can make emeralds off of, that is just such a joke.
I honestly want to know who's sitting in a meeting coming up with these. I'd love to know. I'd love to be a fly on the wall in that meeting. That they've clearly had a meeting. They've probably had more than one over this, right? And I want to just sit there as a fly on the wall and just sit there and then occasionally go, why? What do you, what? Well, we need to make it easy items that you can get so you can make a few emeralds. But what are you buying with them? An iron pickaxe.
Well, apparently you're going to need those 70 emeralds to when you get to your master librarian that's selling mending that you can't re-roll now. When you get to him and he wants 64 emeralds because you can't discount his trade down anymore, you better be ready to trade those water buckets.
I totally forgot about that. There's more to this news. Yeah, so villagers... Not only has the librarians been totally nerfed, but villagers as a whole have also been nerfed. Now, this was brought to our attention at the end of the last podcast as part of the Bugdate, but there was a Java edition bug report, actually, and it is in this changelog somewhere. I'm not sure where it is. But basically, yes, repeatedly healing villagers, zombifying them and healing them, will no longer stack their discounts. So... you can't suddenly go from somebody selling a book for 40 emeralds to 1 emerald by repeatedly zombifying them and fixing them. So in order to get a trade level of 1, they either need to be on a ridiculously low trade to start with, or in Java Edition's case, keep trading with them because that brings the price down. That doesn't work on Bedrock Edition. On Bedrock Edition, it's the opposite. The more you trade, the higher the prices go. So, but we'll get the parity for this, but they're not with the cheaper trades because of trading. We'll get half the parity as usual, which will mean that Bedrock Edition villagers are nerfed even more than they were, and no one will ever be able to get one level 1 trade.
The value for mending books in new servers is going to go up like crazy at that point. Wow, that's just...
Okay, I think I've had enough of the news, Slack.
That's so great.
I think
but don't worry, you can find more diamond ore that you can go mine in Deep Slate with your efficiency 3 pick that you don't have mending on because you're in the desert. You need to go to a swamp to get mending just to get those diamonds.
And then to a different village to get unbreaking on it. Don't forget that. Woosah. Okay, right.
I'm glad that we now have an unofficial version switcher on Bedrock because I don't see no reason to update anytime soon.
Let's just stay on 119.
Yeah. Let's go back. Let's go back to 118. Maybe.
Yeah, before the caves and cliffs.
Then we get our cheaty furnaces back
before village and pillage. Let's go back to 114.
Can we at least have the one that had mob spawning? When was that? Or mob despawning?
Oh, jeez. Oh, man. Right. It's let's go into the bug dates. I can't take it anymore. You've got a bug this week, I can see.
I don't have a tracker on it, but with the changes that they made over the last couple updates, and especially in the newest version out there, 1. Whatever, I don't even know what it is anymore. It's one we're not on TB. You know how you kind of run around and you elytra bounce all the time?
Yeah.
there's now a bug where you can more or less get perpetual flight out of it, but there's also a bug where you face plant into the ground and you can't get out of that neither.
Oh, brilliant!
Where you're stuck in a flying animation on the ground and you can't do nothing. Yeah, it's like the swimming one I was experiencing on Truly Bedrock when I took damage from the magma in the bubble column. Yeah, it's now doing that just by elytra bouncing. Yeah,
Brilliant.
It's nice. Yeah,
Brilliant.
It's great. Mm-hmm.
Why do we play Minecraft?
To be honest, I don't think we do anymore. I mean, we're doing these other things now.
Jeez. Okay. The community bugs then, starting with Sky saying, I return with the portal bug reports. The one I've been experiencing was declared fixed in 1.19.50.21. I posted a comment, but I don't know if that means anything on a ticket that's been considered resolved. Please excuse the long title. It was like that when I found it. MCPE 158215 going through the Nether /end portal causes the game to get stuck on building terrain, and restarting the game teleports the player to the same coordinates of the dimension they left from. Some of my server mates have also been experiencing an issue which feels closely in line with portal travel causes death and loss of items. Thanks for your time. Any input upvotes would be appreciated. So there's two bug reports there. Yeah, if it's been marked as fixed, which it does say, then I believe it is possible to basically say that, no, this is affecting this current version. I'm sure it is. If not, then make a new bug report, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, who's next, Slack?
Downloadable Duck is next and says, I was testing out my custom texture pack when I found this bug. I was shot by a ghast in the Nether, and when I entered the portal again, I died of a fire, and I was traveling through. When I tried to respawn, I was stuck in an infinite loading terrain screen.
Yep, I've heard that a few times. Again. Yeah, where people have died like as they're going between the Nether and the overworld and just don't end up going anywhere.
Yep, dimensional death equals crash. Yeah, good talk. Yeah.
The Praetor, our latest top-tier patron, says, humble greetings. I wanted to point out an issue that the bug tracker claims to have resolved. I set up a Nether portal at my realm spawn, and prior to me upgrading it to make it larger and look good, it worked fine. But when I return to the overworld from the Nether, I take in suffocation damage, and if it takes too long to load into the overworld, I perish. It's frustrating since I don't want to go back to a smaller portal. I'd report this, but it seems like I'm not able to on mobile, so I figured I'd point it out. Easily replicated and happens on 1.20.12. It is absolutely possible to report bugs on mobile. The Jira website does work on mobile. It's not the most mobile-friendly website, but it does work. And I believe, Slack, you'll tell me if I'm right or wrong on this, but the reason that's happening is because when you linked it originally, the point where you linked it, the Nether side will still basically be in the database saying this is the return spot because it's linked, and the fact that you've rebuilt it, it's still sending you back to that exact same spot, which used to be in the middle of the portal, but now it sounds very much like it's, at the side of your portal. So that's probably why you're taking damage. So maybe just shift your portal around a little bit more, or break both and then make new ones and relink them.
Yep. Also, consider when you're lighting your portal, okay? So you had a portal that was one size in one dimension, one that was one in the other. You probably did the correct thing and did the 8x1 and figured out the right coordinates, and you lit the portal in the correct spot. But then you went and built a bigger portal. Let's say you left the portal in the Nether exactly where it was, okay? So it's still your, 2 wide, 3 tall, whatever. And then you rebuilt the overworld portal, but you lit it, say, 3 blocks over to the left now. Well, you need to take the coordinates of where you just relit it and make sure that when you go through in the Nether, you're not actually coming through where the obsidian is, because it's still going to use the data that's affiliated with the value that's in the Nether spreadsheet of that.
Yeah.
More or less, the simplest thing I can tell you, break both portals, relight them one at a time, and make sure you're relighting them at the appropriate 8-to-1 coordinate value.
Yeah. Yeah, and light them in the middle of the bottom of the portal, not on the side.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. The last bug report then, Slack.
Guyver says, for some time now, I've noticed that every once in a while, my helmet will no longer be on my head, and instead it's just in my inventory. It's been driving me crazy. I finally found that when I open my inventory with the E key, more often than not, the item is the helmet slot is highlighted, and the tooltip for the item shows up wherever my cursor is. If I happen to left click on my mouse before moving my cursor, my helmet gets picked up and attached to my cursor, then close my inventory causes the helmet to be released into my inventory. Very annoying. Looks like it's already been reported. Yep. As a matter of fact, we were talking about that last week or the week before.
We were when we were doing when we were playing, making our videos. You put it out to me that doesn't matter where your mouse is on your screen. When you go into your inventory, you will get a tooltip next to your mouse of the item which is in the top left slot of any inventory page. So if it's armor, it's going to be that. If it's your inventory, it's going to be that. If it's a furnace, it's going to be that the thing in the top slot, the fuel, not the fuel slot, the item slot. It's
very annoying.
Accidentally left clicked and lost my helmet, but it's very annoying. So
I hadn't even considered that, but that would be a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Geez, but that as I assumed when we talked, that's probably due to do you remember? We've seen it a few times obviously we read the change logs for the news on the podcast, and quite a few times, although I don't think I read it out specifically on the news, but as I'm reading through, I see there's been a whole stream of fixes for controllers in the UI. Basically, I don't know when, but at some point they must have busted it quite badly, because there's been a string of over the last few updates of them like making console fixes for the UI. I think someone even mentioned in the Bugdate last week that like the bumper buttons weren't cycling through the tabs properly. So this will be to basically snap that controller icon into the UI as soon as they enter the UI, so that they're not just floating around, making it easier for them. So thanks.
That's crazy.
Cheers, guys. Okay, if you think you have found a bug, then you can let us know by emailing us or sending in a feedback thing on the feedback form on the website, or joining the Discord and letting us know there, and we will read it out on the show. If you do have a bug report, please do attach it so we can get them voted for you and put on the website. And if you don't, then make one. Okay? Don't be lazy.
Yeah.
You want a bug fixed? Yeah. Don't just complain about it. Help get it fixed. Jeez. Yeah. Tip of the week this week, Slack, is from Extreme Game DNA and says, when caving, place your torches on the left cave wall. So when you're ready to leave, the torches will be on the right side, the right way out. And I think that's a really good tip. That's what I've always said to do, and I always forget and end up going the wrong way. But you said you think this is a dumb
No, it's rubbish. It's rubbish.
I think it's a very good tip.
Don't tell me where to place my torches. I put my torches on the floor. How about you remember where you were exploring? How's that sound, huh?
Well, maybe they're like me and not good at remembering where especially when you're in like the dungeons where you find the end portal. They're the worst. I get lost in them as soon as I walk in. I could turn around on the spot and not remember where I was. And Nether fortresses is the same. You've got to put something somewhere so you know which way you've been to.
Well, then use a compass.
That doesn't help.
Why not?
Because they always point back to your spawn point. It spins around like crazy in the Nether.
Well, use a map.
No, they're laggy and they don't. No, that doesn't show you where you've been. It doesn't show you your way out of a structure. It just shows you where you are.
Well, throw down some bread.
Just put torches on the
left.
Make
a bread trail. Don't tell me where to put my torches. I'll put my torches down in the middle.
Right, get some string, tie one end to a stick, and then as you're going in, feed it through, and then you can pull back on the string and find your way out.
Yeah, if I get lost, which I don't do, but let's just say I did, I know if I go straight up, I'm going to get out.
It's like, if you don't get lost wherever you go, right, then that's amazing. You obviously have a very good memory. You do have a very good memory because you remember all the stuff I forget about while we're interactions and stuff like that. But not everyone is as blessed as you are. So for those of us that are thick and stupid like me, putting torches on the left is a good idea. What's your life tip of the week, Slack?
Well, if you're going to go deal with the Amish, make sure you got cash because they do not accept credit cards.
Yeah, I can imagine that's the case, yes. Sorry. I wasn't expecting that. That's really tickled me.
That'll be $45.50. How would you like to pay? What do you mean? How would I like to pay? I got my card right here.
I'll pay on my phone, please. You got a thing I can beep it on?
I'm going to use Google Pay. They're just going to look at you like,
jeez. Okay.
Excuse
It's do I accept PayPal? What's your email address? Hang on.
just give me your bank number. I'll transfer it directly to your bank for you.
Yeah. There you go, bud. No worries. I got you. Don't carry cash, but I need all these tomatoes. Right, okay, Slag, it's time for
Look,
our
it's
week.
100 pounds, okay? That's a lot of tomatoes.
This is a lot of tomatoes. What have you been up to in Minecraft this week? Jeez.
This week in Minecraft, I've been... Once I quit procrastinating, I've been procrastinating a lot in Minecraft the last couple of weeks. I finally sat down and I started building the Sorter of Sorters on Slackville, I guess is the best way to put it. It's got, oh God, short explanation. It goes through an item categorizer first, which can sort 15 shulkers an hour. And then from the categories, let's say one section of category deals with stone bricks, andesite, whatever. All of that goes down and goes into individual shulker loaders. So I'm building the sorter.
Jeez, that is
sorter.
Wow. Okay. Is this all in videos as well, or streams, or how are you doing this?
Streams, and I've actually been recording all of this. I don't know if I'm going to do anything with the episode because I've been doing this on my Forever Slackville world, which I've never done one video on. Never.
Oh, okay.
But I started recording it because I've been recording everything I've been doing with this project. Because me and you've had several talks about this in the past. I want to change how I record my Let's Play content whenever the new season of something starts, whether it be TB, my seasonal-based Slackville, or whatever. I want to record shorter burst content. Me and you've talked about it, that gets to the point and gets the episode done. But it doesn't mean I don't want to do big projects. I just don't want to do no more witch huts or no more Netherrack mountains or a whole desert rework on a seasonal-based world, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I'm going to start out small on whatever on my seasonal-based worlds. And if it turns into a mega area, then so be it. But I'm not going in with the plan that I'm going to build this big, from day one. I knew I was going to build the witch hut.
Yeah.
From day one on more or less the Mushroom Island, I knew I was going to build a mountain of some kind. I didn't know it was going to be a Netherrack mountain. But it's a lot of work to put in on a seasonal world. And then you hit burnout because you put so much time into it. And then about the time you want to get going again, the world's dead and new updates come out and everybody's lost interest in the series. So you're just like, I'm done with it.
Or you're thinking, all right, we've announced when we're going to be ending the season now. So there's a panic to get it finished, which just puts you off doing it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, big projects for Forever will sound good to me.
Yep. So that's where I'm moving my big projects to. So I want the sorter to beat all sorters. So I've been recording everything related to it. My issue is, how do I introduce my YouTube audience to a series that's only been a stream thing that they've never met? You know what I mean?
Well, fortunately for you, you have this lovely editor that does amazing work for you. So couldn't you just feed him all the footage and say, like, can you either turn this into like a series of 10-minute videos, or just almost montage this into don't even worry about what you've said in it, just the building stuff, and then put some music over it, and maybe even do a talks over on it. Like, you could talk through it. Like, hey, I've got this Forever world.
I've kind of considered that. Have you seen those videos on YouTube where, like, you'll see the thumbnail and it's like, I built this in Minecraft? I've been recording it with the emphasis of doing that and voicing over most things.
Yeah.
So I've been recording clips, and I've been recording a lot of time-lapse footage.
Yeah, but a project like that, I think, it's a good idea to do that sort of thing with. Because if you went through the whole, like, now I'm placing this block and now I'm going to do this, for something like that on that scale, you really need to do it as a series. Otherwise, trying to push that into one video is just going to be exhausting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you could do a Mr. Beardstone trick and make a movie out of it and do a three-hour-long video, which is crazy. They seem to do really well on this channel, though.
I've been recording everything with it, so I've been working on that. And I've got a few other long-term projects that I want to work on, too. So I'm kind of working on big projects, aside from... I'm dabbling back into tutorials. I'm getting good with that. And I'm really enjoying our Mythbuster series.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that because it's a good place to basically point people into something if they're not already aware of it. So if you're not
go
already
ahead
aware,
while I give the dog some food here.
Slack and I have been recording. We get together on a Friday every week, and we've been recording myth busting episodes. And we've recorded, I think, is this going to be our sixth one that we've got this week? So I think we've done two a week, haven't we? Or did we? I can't remember.
I think the first week we did one, then we did two each week after that.
Okay, so it'll be a fifth one. So we've covered a bunch of things. This week we covered hopper lag. And the myths around putting furnaces or composters on top of hoppers. And if you want to find out whether or not we've busted that myth, then you can check those videos out. And we've also got one about food saturation. Basically, are golden carrots even worth it? So my video for that's coming out tomorrow. Yours is already out for that today, isn't it? As you're listening to the podcast, mine came out yesterday and Slack's came out earlier in the week. So, yeah, check those out. They're on our channels now, and they're doing pretty well, and I'm really enjoying doing those. And what we wanted to say to you guys was if you've got any ideas for myths that you think need busting or you're interested to find out, something that someone always says, oh, yeah, you do it this way because of that, but you've never really actually checked why, then let us know. Send in some comments and some feedback, and we'll add it to our list of myth-busting episodes. Because, believe it or not, it's quite tricky to remember all of these myths off the top of our heads. And we often sit there thinking, well, what myth are we going to bust today? And we're only a few episodes in and we're already running a bit dry. And we got some ideas, but the more ideas we've got to work from, the better. So,
and additionally, on top of that, if you don't mind me adding in on this, you all come in here each week and you all report bugs to us as well. But if you've got a bug, a really good one, and it may be something that we may not even be aware of ourselves.
Yeah.
That we can record on, confirm, deny, and maybe even get more knowledge out there and get people to upload it. Let us know.
Yeah. Not one of these little bugs like, I'm not going through the nether in the right place. A really easily, repeatable bug that's fun, that's a big bug, that's silly. Even if you think someone's already covered it or we're already aware of it, you got a bug that you think, oh, well, that's an interesting bug that we can easily repeat, then something like that would be great. Or really game-breaking bugs that are easy to repeat. If it's not easily repeatable, then don't bother because we're not going to spend all day trying to make a bug happen. Okay, so for me...
Crazy tips, yep. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, sorry. Yep.
Sorry, no, carry on.
I was going to say crazy tips. Like, we had an idea about tips and things like that, too. But
so the tip of the week section is coming in quite useful for that.
Yeah. But yeah, keep sending stuff in.
Yeah,
even if you think it's irrelevant, we'll be the final judge.
Yeah, exactly. Just like we are for the wish list, which we're nearly at, but I still got my week to go through. Okay, right. This week for me in Minecraft, playing on Truly Bedrock, I've done a couple of streams, carrying on in my skyscraper village. It is coming together slowly. I made that building that looks like a Pokeball, apparently. That I like the look of it, but it doesn't. I don't like it. It doesn't fit with the skyscraper theme. I think it either needs to be taller or I don't know. It just feels a bit boxy. I've started another one over my honey farm, but I've absolutely no idea what I'm going to do with that. And the roads that I built, which don't go anywhere and seemingly a bit pointless at the moment, I did with like a textured basalt and like raw basalt mishmash. And now that all of the buildings are all concretey and smooth and we've got smooth stone slabs around, just looks messy. So I'm thinking of just tearing that out and just putting black concrete in just to make it. I don't mind if it feels like Toy Town at the end of the day. That's fine for me, as long as it all sort of gels together a little bit, really. So, that's...
I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to go back to your plastic texture pack. That's what you're doing. Plastic
texture pack. It still tells me that, like, when I need to update that, when I go to Global Resources, like, oh, there's an update for this pack. No, I'm all right, thanks. I'm good. So, do you know what texture pack I do want? And I think it's available for Java Edition. But you know the one they do, for the Minecraft videos, the trailers and stuff? They've got it's almost like the plastic texture pack. And someone actually went out the way on Java Edition to build to make the texture pack, but also do all the shaders and everything in the game to make the in-game gameplay look exactly like the trailers. And I'd love that. I'd love that on Bedrock Edition. I wouldn't want to play with it all the time, but I think it's so fun. I like the idea of it. So, anyway. So, I've done that. And then the other stuff I've been doing. So, one of the main things I've been doing this week, believe it or not, something I don't normally do a great deal of, but something I'm trying to do more and more of because it'd make good money, mate, And that is, in the marketplace when you go in the dressing room and you've got all the different items you can buy and wear, like shirts and backpacks and masks and things like that. They're called persona items. And as a marketplace partner, I can make those. So I spent a whole bunch of time making a whole bunch of those. And then I had to politely go ask the marketplace team, can you take them all, just fail all of those because I've realized I haven't read the instructions properly. It's crazy. There are pages and pages and pages of documentation on those of what you can and can't do, and stuff that you just think would be obvious. Oh yeah, of course you can do that. That's fine. No, there's so many limitations on there. Like, so you're not allowed to make anything look voxelated, and what that means is, so everything, the minimum anything can be is a 1x1 pixel cube. So if you imagine a player's face, it's 8x8. The smallest box you're allowed to make is 1x1, but you're not allowed to make 1x1 boxes, and you're not allowed to make 1x4 boxes. You can make a 2x4 box or a 2x2 box, but a 1x anything, you're not allowed, because it makes it look voxelated, which basically says it's too detailed. And that really makes things difficult when you're trying to do like things on people's faces or masks and things, and you want that level of detail. If you want to just offset something slightly, like to get the pupil in the middle of the eye, you're not allowed because it has to snap to the pixel grid. So there's some real big limitations on there. So, and then I did like a bunch of like facial features. Like I did a runny nose. So it's just a nose with like snot coming out the nose. I thought would be really funny. And I did a mouth with a big tongue that comes out and looks around your lip. And then I found out you're not allowed to do like facial item replacements. But you can do masks. So I've had to make the nose part of like a mask, and I've had to make like the mouth thing part of a mask. So it's all like, there's really weird like limitations of what you can and can't do. But I spent hours with that and done some crazy stuff. So I've got those going to be coming out over the next few months. But yeah, you're allowed to release, each partner's allowed to release 5 of those a month. And you basically, you make them, you submit them, and then the next month they get reviewed. And if they pass the review the month after that, they basically, it's a 2 months before they get into the marketplace. So I got a bunch of stuff in the queue for that now, which is good. And then I've got a whole list of maps for the marketplace that I need to work on. There's my fighter one. There's this rail town thing that Mossy made me. And there's an island one that she made me, which is like, I've called it Billionaire's Island. And for that one, I want to make some like vehicles, like helicopters and cars and boats. But I want them to drive properly. In Minecraft, you've got a horse, right? But you can sidestep on a horse, and it's weird. If you want to make a car in Minecraft, the car will sidestep. And if you just turn to the left without actually moving, the car will spin round on the spot. And I don't want that. So I'm trying to write a script at the minute that stops that from happening, but it's really weird. I'm coming up against some real big problems. Like for a helicopter, fine. That kind of works. You can strafe in a helicopter and you can sort of spin around on the spot. But for an aeroplane, or for a car, or a boat, boats shouldn't be able to sidestep. And like a Minecraft boat, you can't. But you can't use the Minecraft boat control for custom vehicles. You can only use the horse one.
Well, go with the skeleton horse thing, because skeleton horse and the horse act different.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing on the like the behavior packs part of things. They're just hard coded.
Dumb.
So it seems every idea I have, all of these are good ideas, I end up just getting stuck with something and spending hours. Like I must have spent 5-6 hours just today fighting with this control system, trying to get a car not to go sideways. And it ended up with the car just like bobbling all over the place, and it would just zoom off into the distance, disappearing, and throw a big error because it couldn't find the car anymore. So what I was trying to do is like, okay, if the car's strafing, then give it a force in the opposite direction against the strafe to stop it. So I got it to manage to like slow it down, but it wasn't enough to stop it. So I had to like really boost that amount. And then if for a second that car doesn't move, it's gone.
Look, I got an idea for you. Okay,
yeah.
You ready? Okay. Now just remember this when you make hundreds of thousands of dollars on this. Okay, you remember those old Rolly games where you had the car that was just sitting there and you had to dodge things on the road?
Yeah.
Well, you've already done the like Mortal Kombat Sideways. Now make the overtop down view game of the racetrack with the car?
It's already in my plan. I have that. I've got a Mario Kart style game on my plan list. I've got like a side-scrolling beat-em-ups on my plan list. I've got platformers on my plan list. I just don't have the time to do them all. So they will come eventually. But yeah, already got that one. Top-down racer. Do you remember
make the impossible game?
Yeah, so I got these ideas. I just don't have the time. Can you imagine if I had a team? If I won the lottery, right? If all of a sudden I had like £2 or £3 million, I would genuinely hire a bunch of developers and develop all these ideas.
Invest, yeah.
Because I've got so many ideas. I wouldn't need it. I've got 2 or 3 million. What do you need it for? Just go retire? No, I want to do these things. I got ideas. I need to get them out, and I just don't have the time to do it on my own. So, yeah, that's. I'd literally I'd keep enough to live on to know that I was comfortable, and I would literally just gamble the rest on these ideas. No, it's not gambling, is it? Because if you do it right.
Could you make the different car model be based off of how many hearts the horses had?
What do you mean?
Well, you know how in Minecraft when a horses spawn, they got a predetermined set of hearts, right?
Yeah.
Right. Could you make the horse look different based on the number of hearts it had?
Yeah. You could have like a big old Chungus horse. If it had loads of health, a real skinny one, skinny horse. If it had small health, yeah, you could do things based on its health.
That's crazy.
I think so. Pretty sure you could do that. Jeez. Okay.
Right. Getting distracted. Yeah.
That's it for our week in Minecraft. Now it is time to go into the wish list. We've got a bunch of wishes and a bunch of questions. If you would like to ask us a question while we are live, then please drop them into the live questions channel on the Discord. Slack, before we go into the wish list, you would like to have our usual little 2-minute break?
Yes, I would like to refill my cup because it has no ice.
Yes, I have made many coffees, and now I need to go and expel them.
Yes. Right, so we will be right back, everybody.
BRB. Right, into the wish list then, Mr. Lizard, starting with Chainer, who says, dyeable shulker shells. Now, hear me out. I know you're going to say you can already dye shulkers, but with the current system, you can only dye one shulker at a time. Now, say I want my bone meal farm to autofill white shulkers. It's a pain to make normal shulkers, then dye them one at a time. What if you could dye 64 shells at once, then make the shulkers of that colour? And to further that idea, being able to mix and match shells to get multicoloured shulkers, i.e. red, white, or for your rocket shulker. Trade-off being it would take 2 dyes to dye a shulker box instead of the current one. Don't like it?
Nope.
Why?
Nope. I just don't like it.
What?
Ain't nothing wrong with the system that's out there right now.
Is it, right, okay, there is. There's a lot of stuff wrong with the current system because we quite often get that bug where we'll dye a shulker shell with all of shulker box with all of our stuff in it and the stuff disappears. Remember that one?
I haven't experienced that in a long time.
No, it's been a while, but we know these bugs come back. So every time I do it...
But it's not back yet.
Every time I do it, I worry that my contents are going to disappear. So I would...
Then dye your shulker before you put stuff in it.
But it's already got stuff in it.
This is not going to help with the fact that you've already got stuff in it.
No, but if I couldn't dye it when it already had stuff in it, and I could only dye it while it was a shell rather than a box, that would save me ever having to worry about it because I wouldn't be able to do it the other way around.
But then what if you accidentally right-click the cauldron while you're holding a shulker? Oops, there goes your dye.
I like it.
I don't.
Fair enough. They don't go in.
Great. I don't know if you can hear the lawnmower or not, but he's decided that this time it's the perfect time to start mowing outside.
No, but I did have roadworks outside my house at 11 o'clock at night the other night, and I was just thinking, if I had a baby, and this was keeping my baby up because it was really loud, I think I would just go and wander over there and drop the baby off with them and say, come back when you've finished.
Yeah. Next up, Gamma Ray says, I'm sure it's been mentioned before. However, in the spirit of back to the basics, I wish half slabs would be interchangeable with upper and lower ones in a one-block space.
We had this last week. No, not possible.
No, we said no last week.
Not possible, and it would be a nightmare, and it would just everything would just look a mess. It'd look if you had no. A full block, if it's a full block, should look like the block that it is, not 2 different blocks stuck together. No. Oh
no. Well, I hit a button. I hit a button.
It's
I'm
back.
sorry. I hit a button. I was trying to do this, which they can't see.
Just right. No. Okay. That's not how you spell no,
Okay.
Slag. It doesn't have an F in it, a U, a C, or a K. It's just no. It's just N-O. Right, okay. X-Zone says, hello, world ruler Foxy Noddle and Slack Lizard. My wish list idea is to have a clipboard where if you right-click on a chest, you can name it and it will save the items inside. So whenever you don't know where an item is in your many chests, you can search it up on the clipboard and it will tell you what chest the item is. It could be able to connect to multiple chests and maybe tell you the coordinates. I get you can just be organized, but I want to know if my stuff is at spawn or at my base. I can already tell that you will dislike this idea, but I wanted to share. Rotated Alface followed up this, saying, but just being able to name chests would be nice. Well, you can name chests. If you name them on an anvil first and then put them down, the chest will have the name on it. But that's not going to help you see what the name is until you've opened the chest. And by the time you've opened the chest, you'll see what's in there. I don't like the clipboard idea. I kind of can't really get my head around that. But all I'm thinking is, the game would have to remember all of your chests and all of the chest content wherever you were in the world in order for that clipboard to work, which I think would be a massive amount of processing lag.
I've experienced something like that before. There's an add-on for the Elder Scrolls Online where every time you log in, it looks through your inventory. And every time you log in with the character, it looks through its inventory. So it logs where everything is. So then you can just search and it'll be like, oh, you're looking for this armor. Well, it's on this character in this stash, whatever. If
that wouldn't be so bad. If it just logged what chests were what and what items were in what chest, and it just stored that information somewhere that was handy rather than actually calling back to that chest. But then if someone else goes and fiddles with that chest, I don't know.
I was about to say, didn't you make an add-on for mods and realm and server owners to be able to kind of see just that? And wasn't it a nightmare when you opened the chest and it said what all was in it?
Kind of. Yeah.
So now imagine that you had to make this into a nice proper UI.
Well, I've already thought about
just search.
I've thought about doing this, and it is again on my list of add-ons to make once these come out of experimental. Is basically a wireless inventory. I'm not 100% sure I'm going to do it yet. I think it would just be a case of if you open up like a chest, or not open up a chest, but like shift click on a chest, it will come up with a UI, and it will be able to tell all of the chests within a radius and give you a list of all the blocks, and then you can just pick a block and it will go into your inventory from whichever chest it's in. So it'll like logs, 4,000 logs, and you click on it and it'll give you a stack of logs and it'll take it out of whichever chest's got logs in it. That's easy enough to do because detecting blocks around your player isn't as intensive as trying to locate chests that are all over the world, because the world's not all loaded. So you'd have to load those chests to get the information and pull things out of them.
Yeah.
So
can I give you an add-on idea? Shift double click. That'd be nice.
That'd be nice. Oh, remember I was talking earlier in the feedback section about how it's not as good as Java Edition modded. You can't change the control system, sadly. That'd be great. If you could detect a double click on an item.
Can you detect what's in your hand?
Yeah.
Can you detect what's in your hand? Okay. Can you now do something where if you got something in your hand and you got an inventory open, it just moves all those into your inventory?
It would, yeah, but whatever you clicked on, I don't think you can detect what's held by the cursor, but you can detect what will be in a certain slot of your hotbar. With the has item command, you can detect what is under the cursor, I think. So you could potentially be like, as soon as you clicked on an item, it would move all of those. But then if you just wanted to get one stack of something out of a chest, it's going to move everything.
So you'd have to make interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So, okay.
So for X Zone, I'm going to say no.
Yeah. Sorry.
No. Okay. Bet Jamon is up next and says recipe idea for an existing good idea: a lead plus a banner to make a cape you can wear. No, capes have always been one of those rare special things. No.
Yeah, I know they've been giving capes out a bit willy-nilly lately with like changing over to Mojang accounts and stuff like that. But I like the fact that you can, when you got a cape, it means you've done something important. Like I got my Minecon cape for going to Minecon, and I got my whatever it is Bedrock cape for being an OG Bedrock person or something. I don't know what we got them for. I think that's important. I think if everyone was running around with capes, they'd lose their importance. So, not that I ever wear it, but it's nice to have. It's like a collectible. I've been here. I've played Minecraft this long. Here's my proof. Here's my reward. Yeah. So, no capes.
No, sorry.
Tony Raccoon. Hi all. Wish list this week is simple. For the game mode / spectator command to have a shorter option like creative, you use C and survival is S. And then they've gone into a lot of detail about why it's annoying for them, blah, 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 blah. I can understand that's annoying on mobile when you're trying to type quickly, but all of the when you're typing in commands have a quick autocomplete now on mobile and console and everything. So it really shouldn't be any more than you writing in game mode sp or even game sp, and just auto-completing.
It already does that though for game mode S, game mode C, game mode. It automatically moves you. Game mode A.
Yeah, it does. It does for those, but it doesn't for spectator. But you have to type in the full spectator, is what they're saying. Now, Java Edition used to have that. In fact, theirs wasn't C, S, and A. It was game mode like 1, 2, and 3. But they took that away.
Yeah, that still works on Bedrock.
Yeah, it does still work on Bedrock. But my point is here that they set a precedent that they went from that to the full words because they wanted it to be more uniform and unified. And I think that should be on Bedrock Edition as well. I don't think it should be you should be able to put in game mode C or game mode S or game mode A. I think it should be fully spelt out. But the autocomplete means if you type in game mode A and then on PC just press tab, it fills it out for you. It's great. So you type in the whole thing.
Well, another thing they could just give us in the name of parody. What is it now? They hit like Shift F3 and you can like toggle through the different modes.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Java.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice?
Just yeah, that'd be easy.
Yeah. What's next?
Xeon to be able to place top slabs in the same space as redstone components such as dust comparators, etc.
No, it's the same as having two slabs together that's the wrong type. It'd be too much for the game to handle to try and figure out what was going on there. And you don't need to. Why do you need to have a half slab on top of a comparator? You don't need to. I know there have been loads of situations where I've wanted to do that, to be fair. But there's ways around it. No, it's too complicated. You consider redstone items as a full block. They're just not a full block. Okay. White Bush.
Next.
Being a long-term realm world, our nether tunnels are getting longer and longer to reach the new stuff every time it's added. So fast travel. We took advantage of the horse glitch and some horses that run almost as fast as boats on blue ice, but are much easier to control. Getting to my Mushroom Island 2,000 blocks away in the nether is much easier because it only takes about 30 to 40 seconds, but with the glitch gone, they're not replaceable if they die. I would like horseshoes. They can be made with copper, iron, and netherite, just like armor can, and they can be enchanted with racing 1 to 4. Racing 4 on netherite horseshoes would make the fast horse about as fast as boats on blue ice. Can I have Unbreaking 3 and mending, and their durability? Unbreaking 3 and mending, and their durability depends on their material. The racing enchantment multiplies the horse's natural speed, so getting or breeding a fast horse will still be necessary for the fastest speed. P.S. Until this is added, if it gets into the good ideas box, is it possible to enable enchantment or add abilities to the horse armor with an add-on or pack? Whew. Yes. So the second one, yes, it is possible. You can detect what armor something is wearing and give it an effect, like speed boost or something like that. So that's possible. As for having racing on the horse, yeah, why not? Horses are useless at this moment in time, so I'd be up for having faster horses. I don't think they should go as fast as a boat on blue ice because that's just ridiculous. But yeah, certainly a lot faster than they go.
I'm all for it, just like it is with racing 4 as fast as a boat on blue ice.
Yeah,
but maybe it takes durability damage and no mending.
I don't think it needs to have like horseshoes. I'm pretty sure just putting it on the horse armor.
Just put it on the horse armor. Enchant the armor.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, enchant the armor. Yep. Yeah. Look, when we started the original OG Forever Sackville, elytras were banned from the overworld for almost 6 months.
Wow, really?
And yeah, we had to use roads and everything else. And the only reason that they were really unbanned permanently was because people were working on mega builds. It wasn't for the fact of getting around, because we were getting around on horses and everything else and nether roads and everything. But this, I like this.
Yeah, I think there should be more fast travel options as they're making us explore more and more. And the fact that we're going to need to have a village in every single different biome, it would be nice if we had like teleporters and stuff like that. That would be cool.
I had an idea the other day I was talking about on stream. I'll tell it to you. Maybe you can tell me if it'd be a possible thing or not. You know, the Phantom is pointless. Let's be honest. Pointless.
Yeah.
What if you could take the Phantom membrane and craft it with, like, say, an ender pearl, and you could throw like a kite that would glide you for so long?
Ooh, like to pull you along with while you're on your elytra instead of using rockets.
Yeah, or just it's before the elytra. Maybe make a hand glider. Okay, so you could launch with it, and you throw an ender pearl or whatever. You riptide trident, whatever you have to do. So let's make it not work with rockets at all. Okay, so rockets would do nothing. This would be like an early game thing. So you jump off a cliff or whatever, and or even from the ground, give the Phantom membrane a purpose in the game that you could make like an early level kite system or something. Don't even allow it to have mending, but then the Phantom would be usable. You know, I would love to be able to say it worked by holding it in your hand so that you could still keep your armor on all the time. Give me an alternate to the elytra. I love this horse idea. And then if we had something else that could even give us just like temporary gliding, I love it. I love it.
I think a glider.
I mean, they give.
I mean, the wings are a glider, aren't they? That's what they were intended for. The fact that we can fly with them with rockets is just sort of an add-on to that. But I'm just trying to think what a kite that pulls you along would be great. But what would it? You'd almost need to like attach it to a boat or something to pull you along in a boat. What would benefit would it have on land? So I see where you're coming from.
The issue would be the launch. That's the thing, would be the launch.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of an elytra way of gliding and stuff without the elytra, so I can still keep my armor on.
Well, it just takes you back to the pre-rocket days of elytra, as short a time as that was, which just meant they were pretty much pointless.
Really if you could access it before going to the end. Okay, so your elytra has the benefit you can use it with rockets. But what if you had something you could access from the beginning?
I would like a glider, like a little hang glider thing. Like Zelda's got a glider, and it's really useful when you're jumping off things and you just don't want to take fall damage. You just sort of
exactly. Yeah. You base up on a mountain. You climb this ridge. You're out exploring. You're on top of a mountain. You see a village over there. Well, if I just put my glider on, I can glide to that village. I don't have to worry about no rockets or elytra or nothing like that. It's pre-end game.
I don't know whether that would be possible to do with add-ons. I don't think it would. I think you could give you could do it, but it would be a bit of a cheaty hack. You basically, if the player's holding that and they're not on the ground, you would give them a slowness, slow falling.
Mm.
The problem with slow falling is
you've
got no control. Have you noticed if you've got slow falling, you can hardly move left, right, forwards, or backwards. It's a bit like levitation. You sort of kind of sticks you to the spot, which is a bit annoying. I'm sure it's doable.
It's just crazy I do hide. Yeah, I just don't know how to do it. Anyway, sorry, I hijacked the conversation there.
That's all right. I'm going to put that in the good ideas bin. Glider. Good idea. Slack glider from Phantom membranes. Next, Slack.
Leon? I thought I already said that.
We've got another one.
No, I didn't. All right. I would like a block with a texture similar to cobblestone, but with an irony color and with a
variegated
sides
for the stones.
Size for the stones.
Isn't like Raw Ryan that? A Raw Ryan block.
I don't see the point.
No.
Yeah, I don't see the point of this one.
I mean, are you talking irony color as in silver? Because in which case that's cobblestone. Or are you talking irony color as in raw iron, in which case the raw iron block?
Yeah, I think you're going to have to come back with more details on this one because at this stage, I'm going to say no.
No, sorry, Sam. Right, okay.
Yeah.
Lucky34 says, I would like to be able to place lanterns on walls. They already have the ability with hanging signs. If there's no block above it, just puts the post out of the wall. I want the post with the lantern hanging off it. Much rather see this on builds than random vertical fence posts holding on a lantern. Or an odd slab or some other block to hang the lantern from. You would need to craft it with wood then, wouldn't you? The hanging sign you craft with chains in order to make it a hanging sign. So if you're going to have a stick coming out the wall, you need to the crafting recipe would need to include wood. I would also really like to be able to add lanterns onto the wall. Sideways placed lanterns would be great. The problem is when Minecraft added the lantern in, that was a real big thing for them to do because the Minecraft torch was so iconic, and they very specifically said, we don't want this to replace the torch, so we're not going to make it as usable as the torch, which is a shame because it's an amazing block. It's one of the best blocks they've added in the game for many, many years. I'd like to be able to stick them on the wall. I don't care though. It makes the torch obsolete. I don't think it does.
No, it doesn't.
I mean,
it doesn't make it obsolete at all because you have to get the iron nuggets. It's not even iron ingot. You have to go through the pain of getting the iron nuggets or trading for them. And with the way that they just tackled villager trades on librarians, good luck. You may not even be able to get them anymore. They might be biome specific.
Okay. Next wish list.
Peony. Yeah, I knew this. I know that. Right. I would really like for potions to stack even. It's just a stack of 16 and not 64.
Totally agree. Yes, please. Stackable potions. I don't see why they're not stackable. If you can have stackable everything else, why can't potions be stackable? Same thing with water buckets. Why can't I stack them just because they got water in?
I totally agree with that because you can stack honey bottles.
Yeah, good idea. Yeah, well done, Peony. Tiny Raccoon says, oh, no, not this one. Jeez, okay.
Oh, God. What is this, a book?
I'm telling you now, Tiny Raccoon, this is not going in. You're going to rub slack the wrong way with this one. Hi, all.
No.
My wish list this week gives you 3 choices, so 3 times as much chance of getting in the good ideas bin. No, there's no chance of getting in the good ideas bin.
There's no chance.
1.
No chance at all.
Remove ghasts, the preferred option. They're annoying, OP, and useless other than ghast tiers. Just make those a piglin trade or found in Bastion. Slack, a ghast's useless.
No. No. Concrete farm, nether tree farm, tree farms. No.
Cobblestone farms if you want one, stone farms if you want one. They are an automated way of breaking blocks.
We're about to make one to be XP farm. Literally. No.
Okay.
No.
Well, they are, Slack, because Tiny Raccoon says they're useless. So let's continue. Number 2, make ghasts way less OP. They can 2-hit you in full iron. If there's more than 2, it's virtually impossible to hit their projectiles back.
Get good.
Yeah, I was say that. Get good. The Nether's supposed to be a dangerous place. It's supposed to be difficult to get around. There are specific biomes where gas will spawn and they won't spawn. If you don't like dealing with gas, go the long way around.
Yep.
3. Option 3, massively reduce the gas spawn rate. There is virtually always 2 hovering around in the Nether. We don't need them. Just make it like Java, so they're way less, in the name of parity, of course, or make it due to the maximum 1 gas, even then there's only 50% of the time.
In the name of parity, can I, please?
Go for it, Slack.
In the name of parity, there's a 90% chance that you're playing on a Simulation 4 world. Simulation 4 does not exist on Java, okay? Crank it up to about Simulation 6 or higher, and guess what? The gas are not in your face. There you've got your Java parity, okay? Bedrock's Sim 4 with mobs spawning between 24 to 48 was the norm forever. And everybody thinks, oh, God, the Nether's so hard. I've seen so many bug trackers on the Nether being hard. Well, play on a simulation greater than 4, and guess what? These mobs are not 2.5 chunks away from you. They can be up to 6 chunks away from you. And with the gas cap being only 2 in the density, guess what? If you're playing on a simulation distance that's bigger than 4 chunks, you'll probably never see a ghast. Sorry. Oh, that one annoys me.
Well,
Everybody that thinks Sim 4 is the way to go. Sim 4 is just what they put it at default, because in the early days of the game, there was no mob despawning, and just systems couldn't handle it.
It's more optimized playing Sim 4. It just is. And a lot of players playing on lower end devices or realms need it because they can't handle a higher simulation distance. Therefore, it's the most common, and it's the one we should consider that most people have. But yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a totally different game to what Java Edition is, just because everything's a lot more close range. For me, personally, I much prefer playing on Sim 4 to Sim 6 because I don't have to worry about how big I make my farms. Everything's nice and compact and controlled, and I don't have to feel like I've got to make giant ones to make use of the simulation
The
distance.
comment that burns me up with that one is in the name of parody, of course. In the name of parody, of course. In the name of parody. You're playing a totally different version of the game. It's funny. Everybody, parody with Java, parody with Java. What sim are you even playing at before you even say parody?
What's the density cap for gas on Java Edition? Because they're saying it's 1. I don't think that's the case.
I don't think that's the case at all. And even if it is, okay, what's the default distance of mobs in Java? Oh, what is it? It's up to 128 away?
Something like that.
While in Bedrock,
and you can see
anything
that
more
far
than
away
48. Yeah, in Bedrock, you can't even, anything more than
70.
48 gets despawned.
70 you can't see.
And 70 you can't see, but more than 48 or 44, it gets despawned. If it gets more than 32, it has a random chance at despawning.
Yeah.
So the only time that mob is even guaranteed is when it's between 24 to 32 blocks in front of you. Do you know how ridiculous of a small region that is? You give Sim 4 mechanics to Java. You think their farms are overpowered now? They would be stupid overpowered if you gave them Sim 4 options.
Woo. Woo.
You can take that bad idea about taking gas and go somewhere else. Play the game on peaceful, like the rest of the people that you all say play it on peaceful.
Oh, Tiny Raccoon, I don't think your gas idea went down very well there. I'm going to vote for that's a no. I'm just assuming Slack
that's
feels
a
the
no.
same.
That's a no. Yeah. The people that complain about the Nether being difficult. The Nether, it's quote unquote a dimension. Okay, I didn't even say the word.
It's a hell dimension. Right? It's supposed to be.
Thank you. Yeah, it's supposed to be hard. And then you playing on a sim distance of 4. Yeah, you're going to make it even harder. Oh, people that complain, there's too many mobs.
But you don't take any damage
Fortress.
on Bedrock. You get full Netherite or even Diamond. And with fire resistance 4 on 2 sets, and then gas fireball, you don't notice it.
Yeah.
Just don't go into the Nether until you're ready, Tiny Raccoon. Don't change everyone else's game because you're in a rush. Jeez.
Yeah. Don't even get me started on that. Oh, in the name of parody, why can't I put a spider inside of a boat anymore? But I can put a turtle in that's hitbox is bigger.
Slack. Would you like to read the next wish list item, bud?
Where are we at? Meerkat. I'd like it if glow lichen and skulk membrane would build up like the new cherry blossom petals do, so you could fade in and out rather than hard squares. So 1 would ours and a few bits of 2 would add more.
Yeah, you know how the cherry blossom petals. Yeah, I quite like that. That'd be good. It is annoying if you're trying to make decoration because they're particularly for the skulk patch stuff. It's such a hard edge to it. It'd be nice if that did you plop it down once and you get a couple of little bobbles, and another time you get a few more. I quite like that.
Okay, so say it starts there. Where does it end? Now people want to do it with vines, and now they want to do it with every flower.
Well,
I want all my flowers.
I don't think the skull's
to
necessarily a flower, though, is it? It's just like a carpet, really, isn't it?
It's skulk, and they also said glow lich in there. Okay,
yeah, I don't think the glow lichen needs to.
What about vines?
Well,
next,
you don't really decorate with vines, do you? Like that, they don't stick to just objects. You grow a vine down from a ceiling or something. You don't just have one vine somewhere.
Yeah, dude, because I can't shear them and I have to use string on them to stop them from growing because we don't have that mechanic in the name of parody. Calm down, just calm down. Calm down.
Well, I could have assumed that Slack saying this one's a no as well. I quite like the idea of being able to spread skulk membrane a little bit more, make it a little bit more spreadable. Makes sense to me.
No, yeah, you're getting a no from that just because I'm in a bad mood from the previous one. No.
I know. I think the rest of these are going to be no's. Slack, do you want me to finish the podcast, bud? You need to go take a minute.
Good.
Me's John says, how about this one? Nautilus shells can be blown to make a conch shell horn sound. In real life, conch shells can be blown to produce a cool sound with the introduction of blowable goat horns in the newest Bedrock beta. What? I think it would be... How long ago did you write this message, John? In the newest Bedrock beta? Goat horns have been in the game for like 2 major updates. 3, I think. They've been in since like 1.17.
Now there's like 17 variations of them now.
I think it would be fun if the same could be done. I don't think we need them with having the goat horns, but you're absolutely right. They should be able to be blown because that's what, it's the main use of having them. They don't, not much use for anything else.
I'll say yes on this one.
Yeah? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll say yes on this one.
We'll have that as a good idea then, John. But yeah, they don't
it's something I could troll people with. I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Bedrock betas don't even exist anymore. They have previews now. I want to know where have you dug this up? Oh, I get it. They've copied it that's word for word from the feedback article, yeah. So it must have been an old article. Gee, sorry, John.
Okay. Dion's up next and said, this is an idea YouTuber _Greg had, and I thought it would be a good to have it on the podcast. A way to categorize worlds into folders so that you can easily find the ones that you want without going through.
Yes, 100% yes. I mean, I use profiles with my version switcher to try and do that, but I've still got like 1,000 worlds in my list. Yes, if I here's all of the different versions of my ideas world. Here's all of the different versions of Truly Bedrock through the, for the downloads. Here's all of the, yes, that would be amazing. And, you haven't seen it. I can't say anything about that, but yeah. Basically,
I like that.
You know how they're doing they're updating the UI for everything, and we got a new new world screen.
Yep.
Well, I may or may not have seen the one for the new worlds list screen, and let's just say it doesn't make life any easier.
Great.
I'm not going to tell you what it is because I'm not allowed to talk about it. But just imagine, right, on a totally different subject, nothing to do with UI anymore, but just imagine, Slack, in your worlds list, if they changed it, this is totally theoretical and nothing about what I've seen. This is nothing to do with what I've seen. I'm just making this up completely, okay? Well, just imagine each world had a giant thumbnail, right? And the name of the world underneath with the play button, and you could only see 3 of them on your screen at once.
You mean like when you go in to create a custom world and you go to look at the template worlds and it's just a mess?
Yeah. Yeah, imagine that. So when you've got your list of 1,000 worlds, all you can see is 3 at once. That would be a really good update, wouldn't it? I'd really like that.
The number you're trying to reach has been disconnected or is no longer in service. Please hang up and try your call again. Error 404.
I have no username, says. A few suggestions for caves. I think it would make caving more than jumping into a large hole in the ground. I think for the dripstone biome in caves should make a drifting sound every few minutes. Absolutely not. That is one of the world's most main causes of people being irritated, dripping noise. I do not want that in a game. Thank you very much. Also, when walking on cobbled deep slate, would have more of an echo in caves. I do think there should be more. Yeah, well, I do think the caves should have echo and reverb in them for the noises it's made because that makes sense. We've talked about that before, but I don't think it depends on what block you're walking on. Final thing I have to suggest would be bats that fly around light in caves. There are already bats in caves. They don't fly around light. They fly in the player's face because the developers thought that would be fun.
See, now, what about this? What if you had your glider and you went into one of these giant caves? Early game.
Oh, just gliding down to the bottom. Like, instead of going forwards with it, just slowly going downwards. Oh, that'd be great, wouldn't it? I like that. It's a good idea. But no dripping. No dripping.
No more sounds. I love it when you're out and about and you're not even under anything and you get a cave sound. It's Yeah, it's no more cave sounds. No. Praetor is up next, and they say, I don't know if anyone else has had this idea, but my wish is that armor trims were made to function like banner patterns rather than how they are. The duplication process is too expensive, and I don't have the patience to go diamond mining. Well, good news for you. In the latest snapshot, diamonds are becoming more prominent.
If you play on
in
Java
Deep Slate,
Edition
so
and you love grinding your way through Deep Slate, then you'll get a few more diamonds. Yeah, this in that. So on one hand, Mojang's words, paraphrasing slightly, but Mojang's words were, diamonds are too abundant, so we're going to put this thing into the game in order to make, people not have as many diamonds. Next update. We realise you don't have enough diamonds, so here's some more diamonds. How about just don't make the thing as expensive?
But good luck getting enchantments for them, because we're taking the books away from the villagers.
It's like you've got two different people on two different sides of the world that are in charge of making decisions but have no way of communicating with each other. Which is technically true, because one group's in Sweden and one's in Redmond, USA, but I don't... Right.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we went into detail of why you cannot have banner patterns for trim. The reason is there aren't enough pixels on a piece of armor, and it would be a nightmare trying to wrap a banner pattern around the complicated shape of armor. So therefore, no. But you're right, they're too expensive. Xeon. Is it me? It's you. No, it's me.
It's you.
I would like some object that would stop water freezing and snow in a certain radius. Something like what you said for a block that stops massive bombs from spawning.
Do you want to say it, or shall I?
I don't know if we should tell them.
I mean, we were just talking about how it's a vintage item, right?
Well, any light source, be it a torch, lava, a lantern, the only thing that's not is a soul torch.
I was about to say, soul torches will spawn proof without melting.
Yeah. Any normal light source other than a soul variant will prevent ice from... Well, it will melt ice. I don't know if it'll prevent it from melting. Does it from spreading? Does it spread and then melt again? But it'll also melt snow in an area. Does it stop
there's
snow
these things called
settling?
blocks. Blocks, string. There's all kinds of things. Sorry.
And ice will only generate next to a surface. So you just remove all of the surfaces from your world and just have ocean. You'll never get any ice.
Yep. There's this thing called torches, though. They work great for that.
Irish Viking just confirming in the chat there, it stops it from happening. So yeah, just put light source down, Xanon. Boom. No more ice.
Right.
The Praetor.
Praetor is up next again. This might be a strange idea. And yeah, a new food isn't anything we need. Oh, God, here we go with this again. But I'm thinking of mushroom skewers, or more specifically, suspicious skewers, made with 2 mushrooms on a stick, and it would restore less hunger than suspicious stew, but it would be... No.
I've got a better good idea, Slack. Take suspicious stew out of the game. It has no purpose at all. It's totally pointless. Take it out. It's a waste of coding space.
Yeah, no. Or even if you're going to leave it in, let me stack different types together. But
we'll give you total
let it be suspicious, but let me just craft a bunch of them and just pure random.
No,
you never know what.
Just take them out of the game. They're pointless. They don't. The mob effect isn't long enough. It doesn't do. It's of no value. There's no point in carrying them because they're not stackable. They're totally pointless. Just take them out of the game. Remove them completely.
Okay, all right. Get rid of them.
Good idea.
Along with the dolphin. Yep.
Remove suspicious stew completely. There we go.
Plus dolphin.
Plus dolphin. I'm not removing dolphins. Choose. Okay. Xanon is back again. With now the Marion's focused on parity, they should make creepers and other explosions drop 100% of the blocks broken. Yes, please. That's not parity, though, because it doesn't happen in Java Edition, but they do have a game rule to sort that out now. But yes, Isn't it annoying? I had a creeper explosion go on my live stream the other day, and it ate 3 of my beacon blocks. And I'm just like, why? Why? What's the point?
Yeah, there's no point now.
It's just, great. Okay, they make a mess of something. Fine, but let me have the blocks to build it back again, rather than having to get, oh man.
Creepers 100%. I don't think TNT drops 100%. Does it now?
What, on Java?
I think it.
Yeah, it does 100% blocks on TNT on Java.
I know there used to be a mechanic that people while a block was in motion, it would drop 100%. I didn't know they made that finally a vanilla thing.
Yeah, and and then recently they got a game rule to allow them to make creeper drops 100% as well. In fact, they added a game rule. So TNT's been 100% for ages, but they basically added 2 new game rules, one for creepers, one for TNT, that allow you to change whether they are 100% or not. So,
great.
Yeah. I would like that very much.
How does one game get something new, but the other game doesn't?
What, like a biome command to be able to change the biome?
Yeah. I swear they're just smacking us in the face more and more. Right. Barenzo's up next and says, Foxworth and Slackington. Okay. Yeah. Good one there. I have a last minute wish list item. I've concluded completely on my own, no help from anyone else, that we need some way to evade mobs. Maybe a roll of some sorts, or a lunge, possibly. I'm not certain what to call it yet, but I feel like Foxworth can help me out with that.
Almost like some sort of dodge and some sort of like tumble combined. A tumble dodge. I like it.
Tumble dodge. Okay, I can deal with tumble dodge, if that's its official name.
Good tumble dodge. Good idea.
But that comes at the same update I get my glider in.
Yeah, gliders and tumble dodging. We're into it. Yeah. Okay, Stone Ostrich. A version switcher for Bedrock baked into the launcher on PC. The launcher is already PC exclusive. Well, what about all the other people? What about the people playing on... Okay, you've got a version switcher for Bedrock on your PC, and you got your world and your realm or your server set to that version. What about all the people that want to join on console or phone?
You're not going to get a version switcher for Bedrock that's officially supported.
You're not.
It's not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
And can I tell him why?
Yeah.
Marketplace.
Yep.
You can give them greater detail. That was just the short answer.
Yeah, that's it. That is basically why. But, it's basically follows in a long line of trends with software development. Look at Windows, Adobe products, your iPhone, your operating systems, most devices. Everything's gone to a point where you are forced to upgrade. There's no backwards compatibility. There's no, I want to use the old version. Even like Adobe, they're like, oh yeah, you can use the previous version, but then once the next version comes out, the previous version goes to the one that you didn't want, and there's no way of rolling back to the one you did want, right? And it's that's just a trend with software development. So even if without the marketplace, you're unlikely to get that on Bedrock Edition, because the older versions of software won't be supported forever. And the more they require to support them, the more time and effort they've got to put into older versions to squash the bugs, to work with Windows updates, to work with computer updates. And it's just more time and money to put into versions that not many people are playing. The reason Java Edition can have versions from all the way back when is because it uses Java, which is basically a stable language that runs on its own. It doesn't matter what operating systems it's running on. It's running through Java. Now, there are certain things in Java Edition that do, operating system specific, if you want to get into the nitty gritty, but on the whole, an old version of Java Edition is going to work on the latest versions of Java, and the latest versions of Java Edition are the oldest versions, because just how it works. But Windows, Android, iOS, Fire, whatever OS that uses, probably Fire OS, I imagine, all have to run Bedrock. They've got to update the game for each version of that to make sure it works with that. If one of those updates its operating system, it doesn't work how it used to, then the old versions of the game won't work. And we've already seen this with the PC version of Bedrock Edition. It actually says in the manifest file which versions of the Windows operating system it's suitable for. And if you've got an older version of the operating system, it just won't work. So, not possible. But yeah, mainly marketplace. But I would love a version switcher.
Effect moment.
But your version switcher, you can play all the old versions of the game. Yeah, they do work, but only on Windows. Is it my turn?
Sorry, I'm having a weird Mandela effect. Like I'm having memories created in my brain that aren't real.
Oh, that's useful.
Like I've always remembered like one sapling dark oak trees, and now for some reason my brain's trying to remember roll dodging like it was a thing in the game. Like I specifically remember it tapping like double to the left or double to the right and automatically dodge rolling. This is weird.
It is from that fighter video I showed you of my Foxy fighter. Wyoming Asian Coffee says, "Hey Slack and Foxy, my wishlist idea would be to have more aerial mobs, either hostile or neutral." That's going to get a big fat no from me.
No,
I would like ambience. I'd like to walk up to like a field or a tree and see a bird fly off just into the distance. Not do anything. Can't shoot it. Can't eat it. Just off it goes.
Yeah, not even to the point of a bat. Yeah, it's like fog.
Yeah. But that's as much as I want from like flying entities.
Yep.
Or a giant albatross that I can fly on the back of and build a base on. But other than that, I don't want them. Or giant eagles that I can fly on the back of and build a base on. But other than that, I don't want them.
No.
Okay?
No.
Okay. That is it for the wish list. If you have something that you would like added to Minecraft, then please do email us at news@theblockupdate.com, fill in our feedback form on the blockupdate.com website, or join our Discord and let us know. And we guarantee that any that make it through into the good ideas bin will be added to Minecraft at some point. We pass them all to the developers. As we've already seen by today's news, they implement those in their own very special way. Sometimes it's not exactly what we've asked for, but it's close enough. So, based on that, if you want your good ideas in the game, but not the way you wanted them, in the way Mojang wanted them, which is the opposite of what you wanted them, then feel free to send us your wishes.
Can you say that again 3 times faster?
Yes. Time for the questions.
Okay.
Alternate42 says, "Hello, Foxy." Oh, if you've got a question, by the way, right, throw it in live questions. Okay? Jeez. Alternate42 says, "Hello, Foxy and Slack. I wanted to ask about your thoughts on collaboration. If the opportunity came, and assuming all of your schedules lined up, would you pair be willing to do a joint podcast with the Spawn Chunks? I feel that hearing your 4 represent both sides of Minecraft, Java, and Bedrock respectively would make for an interesting listen. What do you think? Thanks for all you do." I'd be well up for that. I think we could have a reasonable and engaging conversation about that. But I worry that sort of thing is going to be, well, just us going, yeah, but what on Bedrock Edition? And then they say something else. And, well, we can't really do that on Bedrock.
Yeah. It'd be fun, but
I think if we had like a good old list of talking points to talk about, maybe you could even do it like on the differences of the two or something like that, and just talk our way through it. I think it'd be good fun. But yeah, I don't see us being invited.
Yeah, the parody debate. Yeah.
I'd be up for it. Well up for it.
Wyoming Asian Coffee is up next and says, "Is Skyblock available for Bedrock?"
Yes. Yeah. You can play it on feature servers or on the marketplace.
Yep.
Parenzo. Foxy, you said in the last episode, "I'm going to assume that Slack feels the same way, that you no longer love the game as much as you did when you first started playing. So my question is, what would have to happen for you to love the game that way again? Is it changes to the game that have caused you to love it less? Life expectations, or perhaps since it's now a job? What would take it to make your love burn brighter again?" I would need basically full memory loss, amnesia. It's the only way.
Where's my hammer?
Yeah, exactly. A big old blow to the head should just about make it so I enjoy it just as much as I did.
No, maybe I phrased my statement wrong. Not that I don't love the game. I don't have the same joy for the game.
Yeah, I think that's what they're saying. Is that they no longer love the game as much as you did.
You'll never have that joy again.
No.
Once you've experienced it, it's like remembering an old game, that you played. Like let's go back for me, like Mass Effect. I remember the first time playing through it, first time fighting the big boss, first time doing this, first time going to the Nether, first time duplicating stuff. I mean, really, the first castle you built. Because come on, how many of us built a castle in Minecraft?
Right, millions.
It's just you can't get those firsts back.
No.
And it's hard to come up with new firsts.
Exactly. The only way you would do that is by having another baby, because that baby's grown up. And Minecraft 2 would need to be something very, very special and impossible for them to replicate the success they've had from Minecraft. There are some changes to the game that have made me love it less. Deep Slate being one of them. It's my favourite block in the game, but I hate it with a passion because as I've said a million times, one of the things I enjoy most about Minecraft is just being able to chill out and go mining, listening to some music, listen to a podcast. I hate doing it now. Absolutely despise mining in Minecraft now because that stupid Deep Slate layer. You no longer feel like you've made an achievement of digging down through the stone layer because there's just another 64 layers of Deep Slate, and Deep Slate is just a pain to mine through.
I'll just turn off Deep Slate.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There being a job, obviously, yes. If it wasn't my job anymore, no, I'm not going to suddenly start loving it more. But maybe that pressure would be off for me to feel like I had to make content on it all the time and I could just play it for fun. So maybe, but I've played it so much. I mean, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of hours have been poured into this game. It's never going to be fresh again, ever.
No. And I'll be honest, I haven't played this game to play it in years now.
No.
Like, if I'm not streaming or I'm not playing or I'm not recording, rather, or I'm not making a farm or doing something that's video related, I am not loading this game up.
No, never ever. No. Sadly, but it's just one of those things. Don't feel bad on our behalves. You know, it's the same with anything in life. You do it often enough, you're not going to have that it's not going to have that same shine. It's never going to be shiny and new again. Doesn't mean we don't like it. We absolutely love it. If we didn't, we wouldn't be doing a Minecraft podcast every week. We wouldn't be making Minecraft myth busting videos every week. We wouldn't have Minecraft Discord servers and merch and all the other things that we do. We love it with a very strong passion. You know?
It's just our view on the game is different because we kind of do it for a living now, which is weird to say.
Okay. Right.
Stitch Fix. If you had a developer on the podcast, what would be your top 3 questions, or what would your top 3 questions be?
Why do you want life to be harder for us all and make us have to grind stuff all the time? Why are you wearing a tie? This is a laid-back podcast, you moron. And can you please stop wiggling in your chair because it keeps squeaking? There would be the 3 questions I ask. What about you, Slack?
Why does Jeff still have a job?
Who is Jeff?
Why in the name of parody? Why in the name of parody is there no parody?
Yeah.
And when is Java getting canceled?
Yeah, if we could ask literally any question, right, without having to, like, if there was no rules and the developers had to answer any question, right, there would absolutely be, what's the lifetime left on Java Edition? When are we going to get full parity? Why are why do you choose certain features over others? What really happened to the super duper graphics pack? Why haven't you fixed RTX? And why did that even exist in the first place? I want the truth on all of those things rather than just the bits of information we get. But that's never going to happen. Realistically, as we said before, if we got a developer on the show, there would be limitations on what we could ask, what we were allowed to ask. But the questions I would probably want to ask would be like, how did you get into Minecraft? What do you enjoy most about development, and what are the sort of things that you've added to the game that we can be like proud that you have been involved in?
Yeah.
So, the other thing I'd like to know, again, if not that we'd be able to ask, is how much experience have you actually got in the game rather than just thinking you know how it works?
No.
Do you even play it? Making these stupid decisions based on community feedback because someone you watched on YouTube once said that they liked this idea?
I want to sit there and look at someone, and I want them to have to answer me honestly. Be like, do you really feel the wandering trader trading him 1 bottle of water for 1 emerald and then locking that trade is not a slap in the face to the community?
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. Right. Panda says, can you do a myth busting on whether items above hoppers reduce lag? There's been many suggestions, such as composters, furnaces, and other random blocks over the years. Is the amount of lag even a concern? As we mentioned earlier, we made a whole video on that. We've already done the video. And I'm not going to give you the results of the video because I want you to go and watch it. But I will tell you that we had 16,000 hoppers in the world. It really didn't make a great deal of difference to performance to dislike.
But according to one of my comments on my comment section, we didn't use enough hoppers.
No, apparently 16,000 hoppers isn't enough to have a fair test. Okay.
No. NSPG 911, listening from episode 15, has to say, "Hey Foxy, at the near end of the episode, you were talking about search engines. So my question would be, what would be your favorite browser, and what would be a feature-rich browser?"
Yeah, I don't understand that. What's a feature-rich browser? Do you mean one that's just got loads of added extras in it? For me, a good browser is a browser that displays websites correctly, runs quickly, and that's all you need from a browser, really. So I use Chrome, but only because Chrome allows me to have multiple profiles. So I've got basically, at the minute, 5 different Chromes on my taskbars, one for my personal stuff, one for Foxy No-Tail, one for Duckshot, one for the Minecraft update, and one for my business stuff. And I just click on one of those and it loads up all my passwords and bookmarks and everything as if it's a brand new browser, and it's great. And they're all color-coded. It's fantastic. But Chrome's ridiculously laggy. It's a massive memory hog. It is quick. And it's made by Google, and Google pretty much run how the internet's supposed to work. So sites are going to work for it because all of the website developers develop for Google Chrome as their priority because they know that's, going to get them ranked highly in the search engines. I used to, before Chrome, use Firefox, but that just it went through a phase of being really bad for a while and causing problems. So I dumped it for Chrome. I wouldn't ever use Edge because I just don't think Microsoft have got any clue how the internet works. I don't even think they know how, like we just said, do you even Minecraft, bro? Have you even internet, bro? People at Microsoft, do you know what it is?
Bing, bing, bing.
And the other really popular one out there is Opera. And there's obviously things like Brave, which are good for you on, if you want to be anonymous and stuff online. But their Brave is based on Chrome anyway, so it's just basically Chrome with a skin on it. I don't know if Opera is based on. Pardon?
I use Opera.
Yeah. I think Opera now allows you to have profiles as well, from what I understand.
Yep. It allows you to have profiles. And I switched to Opera over Chrome when I had horrible internet, because Opera has a lot easier use, less resources, and I was able to, I can right-click any element and just block it. Just gone.
Yeah.
So I don't have to worry about a lot of things. And I've used it for so long now that I can't stand Chrome. Chrome is a resource hog, but everybody's got their own opinions,
The other main reason I use Chrome is I obviously develop websites, and Chrome has all of the developer tools built into it to help you actually develop your website. So it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, well, anything you could pretty much put into Chrome, you can put into Opera now.
Oh, I'm sure you can. But
you
use what you use, don't you, at the end of the day?
Yeah. But Edge, no. Never.
No.
Never. Firefox, if only Chrome and Opera died.
Yeah, well, Firefox used to be great, but that's just as much as a resource hog as Chrome is these days. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it me or you next? It's me, isn't it?
Yeah, it's you.
JF Bird Blue says, when you start a new world and you're looking for a good seed, what are your hopes and wishes for the seed to have? Structures, biomes, any other items? I want all of the biomes within a decent radius of spawn, a good distribution of biomes, ideally one witch hut at least. I don't care about things like woodland mountains. I don't care about things like mountains. Ideally, it wouldn't have any mountains in it, so that, because you don't need a mountain. You can travel to a mountain. You don't need one, but you often need the other biomes. There's nothing you can get from a mountain that you can't get from somewhere else. Powdered snow? No. Shut up. No one needs it.
Look, Bird, I'm not telling you how to find the seed. You figure it out. Not my problem. That's why I delegate to other people. I'm resetting a world, and there might be somebody who's supposed to be seed hunting. That's all I'm saying.
Can we not have conversations in the live questions chat, please? Because I copy and paste those blindly into the doc, and I can see you all replying to each other. If you're going to have a conversation, please do it in the general thing. Tut, tut, tut. Do I have to step in there and be, Professor No-Tail telling you all off naughty children?
To be honest, Bird, when I'm looking for a new seat, I just want to go in blind. I don't want to know nothing about it. I want to know nothing. But if you're picking one for an SMP, then you need to know all the stuff about it. You need to make sure that there's a mining desert. You need to make sure that there's terracotta. You need to make sure that there's enough witch huts for all the people to go around and blah, 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 blah. And, let's not have spawn be on a mountain. We did that in season what? 4?
Yeah.
That was a nightmare. Found a nice open plains. Nice peaceful plains. That sounds really good. Yeah.
Next question, Slash. Next question.
The Not So Blue Sheep is up next and says, do you guys have any intention of putting videos on TikTok? I'm seeing more and more creators on there.
I've got a bunch on there already. If I ever do make shorts, I always post them to TikTok and YouTube. It's totally pointless. I don't see it. Unless you get millions of views on your TikToks, you're not driving people over to YouTube. And because you're not making any money on TikTok at all, there's no monetization strategy. It doesn't matter how many millions of followers you've got or how many millions of things you've got. You're not getting anything from that unless you're selling something through it like merch or sponsorships and something. So there's no point. There's absolutely no point in doing it. I'm not in a rush to do it.
Yeah, there's nothing for me to be gained from it. I mean, that's like trying to get people on YouTube to come over and watch Twitch.
Yeah, it's very difficult to do.
It's very difficult to get people to move from one platform to another, and we're all going to have our primary platform.
Yeah. There was one person when I got into like scrolling through TikTok for a while, and there was one person I found their videos, and I was like, oh, I really like this person. So I subscribed to them on YouTube, and I absolutely hated their YouTube content. It wasn't funny. It wasn't good. And the TikTok stuff was, snappy and good. So I just unsubscribed. Totally different audience. Yeah. Totally pointless.
Yep.
I'm not in, if I wanted to make shorts and build my channel around shorts, then I could do that very easily. It's not what I'm into doing. Lorenzo, is it me or you? It's me, isn't it?
You.
Since this didn't make it in from the questions channel, Foxworth, you said in the last episode, I'm going to assume that Slackington feels the same way. We've just read that one.
Yeah, we just read that one. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, I'll read the next one. Now, so Blue Sheep, what changes do you think Mojang? No, that's exactly the same question. Do you think there's any truth to Elder Scrolls Oblivion remake rumor? I've never played any Elder Scrolls game, so I wouldn't know.
No clue. Nothing. Know nothing about it. Yeah. And Not So Blue Sheep is up next and says,
hang on. They said, what do you make for girl dinner? And I asked what was girl dinner, and they said it's a lonely dinner you make with as little effort as possible, never in front of others. Was it just easy dinner?
I'm so confused.
So if you're going to just eat some dinner without someone else on your own, and you just want it to be quick and easy, what's your go-to thing?
Here recently, rice-a-roni. They got this cheddar broccoli thing. It's absolutely amazing. TV dinner, but I don't cook it in the microwave. I cook it in the oven. I mean, steak and potato.
I don't know.
I don't.
Random assortment of whatever's in the fridge or freezer, I guess.
Depends on my level of commitment. Like the other day, I wanted an easy dinner, and I ended up cooking a shepherd's pie. Depends on your commitment. I don't like canned food, canned ravioli, canned stuff like that. I hate it with a passion. And we live so far out that like almost everything has to be cooked. So
the laziest thing I do, and I do this when I really can't be bothered, is I just get a frozen pizza out and bung it in the oven. 15 minutes later, there you go, job's done. Not very nice, cheap, but be all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, generally, I try to at least do something. Like press a couple more buttons than just on.
I mean, that's no different than what do you a lonely dinner? I mean, see, you're talking about little effort as possible for food. If I want little effort as possible, I'll just go make me a ham sandwich. Now, are we actually talking about cooking, or are we just talking about eating? Because I'll go in there and grab a bag of Cheetos and just veg out. So need more detail on that one. That's a weird one.
Yeah. Okay, next.
There's a difference in snack and dinner. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No. You go next, Zayan, again. The yellow
Zayan
bit
says,
is my
Foxy,
response.
Are you jumping for a joy with the wandering trader changes, or will you continue hating on him?
And I put, did you listen to the news?
No, I don't think they did
No.
at all.
What? There's absolutely no goodness coming from that wandering trader changes at all.
None.
No. In fact, it makes me dislike him even more now that he's even trying to rip us off with water buckets. 3 iron for 1 emerald. No thanks, mate. Okay, Irish Viking says, couldn't they do some sort of vanilla version switching that works the same way as some of the old worlds in the marketplace that will put you back to an old version? No, it doesn't really work like that. You can set a base game version in a world or an add-on that will, to your world, that will tell the world I don't want to use any of these features from the versions before that, but it doesn't do everything. It only does certain things, and even that can break certain things. I had a pack that went up the other day to the marketplace. It was a world, and that was set to a base game version of 1.17, and half the vanilla blocks were missing in 1.20. So it just doesn't work.
If they recoded them,
yeah, the way that you expect it to work. So no. Unfortunately, if that was going to work, like, as much as they do copy and paste a lot of stuff into each version, and that's why the file size of the game gets bigger every update. So there'll be like all if you look at the behavior packs and resource packs that come with the game, like the vanilla ones, there's one for every single version of the game in there, but they're not all full. They've just got the changes to those mobs and entities and things like that. So they can roll back those based on the version of the game, sometimes even biome features and things like that. But the actual mechanics of the game themselves, in order to be able to roll that back based on the version of the game, they would have to have the game code, all of the game code, copied and pasted for every single version of the game. So, like, if one update is 600 megabytes and the next one's another 600, you'd be talking 1.2 gigabytes, and then the next one 1.8 gigabytes. It's totally unrealistic. A version switcher would be better, but it's still not going to work.
Flash is up next and says, do you think they are trying to push players into having a new world with every update now? With the exploration ideas they are coming up with for the players who can't trim worlds, it's getting even more difficult to get the new content. Well, at this rate, it's getting difficult to get any content, really. And then just wait till you can only get certain villagers in certain biomes. Yeah, it's going to be good. Yeah, so the answer to that question is a big obvious, yeah.
Well, I don't know why they would care about you having a new world with every update. I think they've got this idea, and they obviously get all of this data and this telemetry. Surely someone's going through it, and these are educated decisions that they're making. But it doesn't feel like they are from our perspective, but we're not all the players. But it does feel very much like they're hanging all of their hats on making ex-players explore more, as if that's going to really like breathe new life into the game. It almost feels like they're looking at the data that they've got and going, there's no wonder players aren't enjoying this game much. They never go out of the first biome they're in. And if you think about that, right, do you remember recently they had those Minecraft videos on the YouTube channel with the guy in the laptop? Did you watch those? And they ended up doing like a biome-specific one where they would talk about, when you spawn in the world, you're going to be in this type of biome. But then, you go, as you progress through the game, you go to this type of biome, and it's intentionally a little bit harder, blah, 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 blah. And so they're basically, for the last year or so, maybe longer, they've been really keen on really trying to point out to players there's more to the world than the biome you spawn in, because clearly the data they're getting is that players are spawning in, building a house, moving on, and that's it. And I think they think that if they can get players to see more of the world, they'll find more to do and they'll enjoy the game more. I don't think that's the case. I really don't think it's the case. I think you might get a few players going, oh, wow, I didn't know this existed, or, oh, wow, I've never seen a panda before. But that's only going to work once. But by changing the game experience that you have to do that every single time for every single player, you're actually making it worse for the players that do put the time in. So I think they think they're doing the right thing I think they are working with the information they've got and making changes to make Minecraft more enjoyable based on the information they've got. But I think they're only getting half the story. And I don't think they're thinking it through properly, personally, from my personal point of view and experience. But I don't know. I don't work there. I'm just guessing. I don't have access to the data they've got or the information they're getting or the telemetry they've got. So who knows?
Who knows?
So, yeah, I don't think they're interested in us having a new world every time, but I think they're definitely trying to get you to go out and explore and see what Minecraft has to offer in the hopes that you might suddenly think it's a way better game than it was and spend more time with it and spend more money in the marketplace and download more things. Lorenzo, as a mobile player, where's the render dragon and how can I fight it? I remember that meme.
It's inside the ancient city portal.
Yeah. Okay, last question then, Slack.
Not so blue sheet, and they say, is there anything that would make the game unplayable to you?
Well,
yep.
If they decided to nerf librarians and make, their trades dependent on what biome they were in, I think I'd just stop playing. Or the other thing they could do that really put me off was to give the wandering trader like the ability to buy stuff off you, but only one item and it's total junk and you don't get anything for it. What about you, Slag?
There is things, but they're not worth going into. Yeah. Yeah. No, it'd just be crazy stuff. It'd be crazy stuff. They'd have to go really far out there. Long as the game is still a game, I can have fun with it. That's just the best way to put it.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a really difficult one to answer. That's like predicting the future. I mean, I don't know. Maybe if they decided to put microtransactions in it, or you can only go to the end if you got 6 gems and it's going to be $4.99 for a pack of gems, something like that. I think I'd just go.
I don't know. I had a dream the other night that they offered you could double up your inventory size. Like you could open up an additional inventory if you paid a platform service of like $9.99 a month. I immediately signed up for that. Yeah. I signed up for it in my dream. Yeah,
see, that double inventory.
Sign me up.
so see what's important to us.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, there's ways they could go with it, which would be really skeezy and awful. That would put me off. But I think they'd have to do something particularly horrendous for me to just outright stop playing it, because it's my livelihood. Even if I disliked it, I still got to continue with it until I've got something else in place that I can do that's going to take my, They'd
have to do something very... It would have to be to the point that it caused like a political, not political, that's the wrong word, sorry.
Yeah, but even political
like an internet.
It's an international issue.
It'd have to be something that's big. That, where it, no.
Yeah, so who knows? Right, Slack, we've nearly done it again. We're nearly at 3 hours, geez. But good news is that we're at the end of the questions, which means that we're end of the podcast. If you've got a question you want to ask us, you can email us at news@theblockupdate.com, fill out the feedback form on the website, join the Discord, watch us live and ask us live in the live questions chat, but don't chat in there because it makes me irritated. And I don't like being irritated.
Yeah, and don't bring up things about the Nether being too hard.
Yeah.
Get good.
Just as a reminder, if you enjoy the show and you enjoy us being irritated and angry at you all, then please do go over to patreon.com/theblockupdate and help us out by pledging at any of our tiers. And if you pledge at the top tier, like the 3 amazing people that already have done, we'll shout your name out at the beginning of each show. This week, I'm going to be releasing whatever videos I can get hold of and try and live stream whenever I can. What about you, Slack?
Pretty much the same thing. This week really goes off of what happens on Fridays now, So, as long as me and Foxy get together and record this Friday, guess what? There'll be videos for next week. If not, who knows?
Well, Oliver will be here again, but I'm sure we can find time to do a few more things. Right. All that's left to say is the same thing I say at the end of every single podcast, and that is, if you're the wandering trader and you come asking me for a bucket, I will chuck it on your head and kick you in the ocean. Yep.
And I'll do one better. I'll throw you in the Nether where you have to get good to survive. Yep.
So,
get good. In the name of parody, get good.
Goodbye.
Get good. Bye.